Yo, what's up?
Hey, what's up? I am heading that way right now.
Okay.
I was going to say I'm probably going to be right at 9:30.
That's fine. I'll leave the door open. I'll leave the door open.
Yeah, sounds good. That's what I was gonna say. And then I can set up downstairs and just take the camera up and start recording.
Perfect. Just make sure you're not too loud when you come in, you know, because my mic picks up everything.
Yeah, sounds good. Then yeah, I'll be extremely quiet.
All right, perfect. I gotta roll. Catch you later.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, hello. How are you doing, Nikisha? Can you hear me? Hello, you're muted.
Oh, there I go. Can you hear me now?
Now I can kind of hear you. Hold on. All right, now you're good.
Okay, perfect.
Let me turn the speaker down a little. How you doing?
I am good. I'm actually like, today is my last event for the year. This is it.
Me too.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to be ending this early, but good too.
Yeah. Now you know why I love this schedule.
Yeah, especially like with like the holiday deadlines and stuff. Did you just deadline January or just December?
I'm working on December, and I'm about to deadline January.
Awesome. That's good. I'll be home for Thanksgiving, and I was thinking if you wanted to meet and we can talk about like have our strategy meeting for next year while I'm home, because I'll be home for like 7-8 days. So like that week after Thanksgiving, if you want to get together.
All right. Sounds good to me. All right. So what I'm gonna probably do is let you open the doors in just a little bit. Can you admit people, or do you have to be the actual host?
I should be able to admit people. Let me see if it's giving me.
Did it give you the option? Can you log out in your other computer? Actually, hold on. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Can you log out of your other computer and see if it lets you accept yourself? You follow what I'm saying? Can you log back in and see if, because I let you in from the weight room, see if you can let you in.
Okay, let's see. Where'd the thing go?
Because that's the only part that's been really annoying. It's not your fault at all, but it's been really annoying to do the to moderate while having to accept people to the room.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I think this one is allowing me to do it, but I'd rather be able to accept people on my laptop than my phone.
Fuck, I can't get my computer to go on. Fuck. My monitor does not want to work. Okay, you can accept or you can't accept.
Hold on, I'm trying to do it right now. I don't think I can.
It's showing up for me. It's not showing up for you, right?
No.
Okay, then here's what I'm going to try. Hold on. Now that you're the co-host, now can you?
Let's see. Yeah. Got it.
Can you let yourself in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it worked. Sorry. It took a second. It was delayed. I thought that's what you were doing, but for a second, it made me second guess it. All right, perfect. So you're able to do that. Here's the other question. Are you able to hit live on Facebook in the bottom right corner under the more button?
I think only the host can do that.
Okay. Let me try if that's changeable. I think it is only a host.
Because it has to be linked to like your Facebook account, your Facebook login.
Okay. I've had so much trouble going live on Facebook that I've never done it properly. I want to stream this one on Real Producers page.
Every time I've had it work, but if I decide to go live, I can't do anything else. Like I can't share my screen. I can't do any other capabilities but go live.
What other capability, other than sharing your screen, was there anything else?
No, like the backgrounds. It'll mess with like your background if you're trying to do like the digital backgrounds and stuff.
It'll mess with the background on live or on the Zoom or both.
On like as soon as you start doing like extra stuff, it'll start freezing your meeting.
In Zoom, or it'll freeze it on Facebook?
Both. Like Zoom, the whole thing will be like start freezing and being glitchy.
Oh fuck.
At least in my experience.
Have you ever been hardwired with a good internet though? Or have you?
Hardwired, no. It's always been over Wi-Fi.
Actually, now that I think about it, I'm not hardwired. Yes, I am, but not well enough. Okay. Well, let's put it this way. I'm looking at Facebook right now and it's blurry as shit. And it's delayed. Well, I guess that answers my question. Well, it looks terrible, so I'm gonna not try to do that. Stop live stream. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Well, it's really a shame. Is there not a way to do this?
I don't know. Maybe it clears up and it's like.
All right. Well, give me a few seconds. I just need you. I'm about to get overwhelmed in a few because people are all going to get texted. So I just need you ready for me to start like parking.
Can you make my other one a co-host as well? My other.
Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. This finally worked. All right. Make you a co-host. I need your help when people are coming in. You've done a pretty good job of it, but I probably need a little more proactively, like, hey, so-and-so, like keep them going because they're used to these Zoom sucking, you know?
Yeah.
It's almost like we have to make up for all the bad Zooms.
Gotcha.
Let's see. There's going to be a lot of text at about 9:20 to 9:25, just so you know. So don't be surprised if that number like starts shooting up and you have to keep hitting that admit.
Gotcha.
Also, just keep your eye on it throughout the session. People are going to get booted and have to come back. Like things are going to happen. That's where it's really hard for me, is because I'm like trying to watch and ask questions, but also make sure I don't leave anyone waiting.
Yeah.
If I know that you're going to be in charge of that completely, I won't even pay attention. I'll just click it if it happens to pop up for me.
Gotcha.
Cool. here? All right. Real producers. And then the only other thing I want you to keep your eye on is renaming. If there's any weird, if there's anything weird like that time that Kai was showing up as me, you can rename people now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, give me just a few minutes. I'll be ready in a second. Just leave
People are starting to pop in.
leave them in the waiting room for a few.
Okay.
At least 9:15.
Okay.
I have a few things I want to do real quick. Just give me a second.
No problem.
Wait room.
That video Marlon did turned out really good.
Right? That was cool, right?
Yeah, it was really cool.
I got 7,000 people to watch it overnight.
Yeah.
I ran a bunch of ads to it, but only for a day. I probably spent like $300 in ads. I don't know if it spent it, but I allowed it.
No, it's really, really cool.
Only authenticated users, host participants. Give me a second. File sharing, screen sharing, host only. Disable annotation, allow remove participants to rejoin. Activate higher quality video. If I turn that down, it will, hold on. Did everything just go lower? Can you tell?
I don't see a difference.
Let me see if it looks any different on Facebook now. Because that's part of my thought is we're probably streaming too high resolution because I'm doing like full and it doesn't need to be. Let's see. Do you know what questions you can ask them as they come in? I would try to ask you like, what's been going on? What are you doing for the last 45 days of the year? No, it still looks like shit. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Write these couple things down.
Okay.
What are you doing to plan for 2021? How are you closing the last 45 days strong? It's really, I think 43 days, but, and maybe what have you learned in 2020 that you're excited about using in 2021? Those would be like the 3 go-to questions if you need to go to them. Let's start with the first 2. And this is really for 2 reasons. Marlon's about to be here in a little bit, so it might not be a problem. But I'm sure I don't even know if you've noticed, but like usually I run to the bathroom and I let Bama out like right when we're about to start.
Okay.
So it just helps if you're like prepared with stuff.
Yeah.
I basically just need help keeping an eye on the chat, who wants to talk and what questions, because my goal is to engage more people than usual, if I can, and to hear from more people than usual. I think I'm going to do breakouts, but I haven't quite made a decision. It kind of depends how it goes. If we're in breakouts, I'd really like you to do 2 things. One is to if you're able to pop in and out of the breakouts, do it. I don't know if you'll be able to. But if you can't pop in and out of the breakouts, I need someone watching the main room to redirect people. Here's what I've never done right. I've never told them if you're not in the right group, if your group's not engaged, if no one shows up, or if you're stuck with the competitor, just exit, come back to the normal room, and we'll stick you in another group. Like just come back to the main room, come back to the lobby. I'll throw you in a different breakout. I've never ever said
maybe I should just not. Maybe I should just not accept the breakout invite and then just stay in the main room, and then I can help from there.
That's exactly.
So I never figured out how to go back.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You might not be able to control it, but you'll be able to talk to me about whether we can control it. Also know that the second they go into a breakout, we're still recording live on you. Like like the YouTube and all that is still going to show the main room. So if you go, you know, when we're talking, like we're talking live, so we can't say too much.
Okay. Okay.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. If you want to let people in about, I'd say 9:19, I'd start letting them in.
Okay.
I kind of want to do. What's funny is maybe I should do that video that Marlon just did. Hold on.
On the back, yeah.
Is that too distracting?
I don't know if I would do it while you're talking, but for now it's good.
It's not the right video. Hold on. It's not the right version on my computer. Oh man. All right, hold on. Yeah, I can't figure out the Facebook thing. Apparently, there are people that don't want to do Zoom, which is fucking stupid.
Strange.
Fucking security and being stupid. Shit, what was it just about to do? Fuck, I forgot what I was doing. Oh man, there's something I was just about to do. And I got these messages.
I think you're changing your background. I don't see you right now, just to let you know.
Oh, that's right. I was downloading from Marlon. Oh, did you see this? Buddy Dyer watches my Facebook stories, apparently. Is that not weird? I'm like going through my Facebook stories and Buddy Dyer. I'm like, Buddy Dyer watched my story?
Can you re-co-host me? I got kicked out of my other thing. I'm not going to stay on both devices the whole time. It's just easier for me to admit people when I have two things.
I don't see your other device. I need to let these other people in, it looks like. Oh, sorry, there it is. There it is. Now I see it.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. That's where it is. Okay.
Perfect.
You can start letting them in just a second. Let me do one thing first, and then I'm gonna put that video up real quick. Marlon. Fuck. There we go. Okay.
Oh, co-host me, please.
All right.
Perfect.
Once I get this video up, I'm pretty much gonna let you go. 1 second.
Okay.
All right. You can let everyone in.
Okay, perfect.
I'll be back in a second. Start welcoming. Make sure to welcome everybody.
Good morning. Okay. Hi, Jeff. How are you? Doing good? I think you're muted. Good morning, Heather. How are you?
Morning, darling.
How's it going?
Oh, you know it's going. Busy as always.
Awesome.
You look beautiful.
Are you ready for this? Thank you. Are you ready for the potluck version of today's masterclass? Should be pretty fun.
I'm ready. I'm ready to hear my buddy and friend, Mr. Kendrick,
Yes.
among others.
He's always good, and Wayne is always awesome too. So I'm excited for him. He's like very
Yes.
high energy. So
I know I've heard Wayne before. I think, was he in person at Harry Buffalo's?
yeah, he
Yeah,
did
yeah.
one in person, and then he did the virtual. I think he's done another 2 virtual ones with us as well. So
Yeah,
always
that's
welcome.
right. I can't wait.
He's our go-to. And the
I
last
know it.
in the last issue, he wrote the article about like automating your business, and I was all for it. I automate literally everything.
I know you do. Systems queen. I should be learning
Yes.
from you is what I should be doing.
Yes. Awesome. So is there anything that you learned like in this past year that you're excited to take into 2021?
You know, I would say probably the biggest learning lesson with the switch and pivot to automation and technology has been focus, scheduling, and time blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can get so complacent or sidetracked in doing other things, or you can get kind of zoomed out. So you have to constantly refresh yourself. So
Yeah.
that would be my big takeaway. Just focus, time block, among other things.
Awesome. Yeah, I think with virtual, people think that it's like, oh, I'm just doing virtual, but that can get out of hand as well. Just like in-person meetings can get like out of hand if you're not like scheduled and more organized. So 100%.
True. Yeah. And it's been like, it's pushed you to another level. I always say, you know, when you end up getting into a place where it's different or rut, you can go one way or the other down that wrong road, or it can push you to a different road. And it's definitely excelled us all to a different road, which has been fantastic.
Yeah, especially like Orlando real estate. It's been taking off.
Yeah. Woo! It has not slowed down. We busy, which is great. It's a big blessing.
Good morning, Jeanine.
Good morning.
I think Jeanine
Sorry,
was saying something.
Sorry, I was muted. I just said good morning, Heather. Yeah, I agree.
Good morning,
with you.
Cindy.
Focus, time block, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But in a good way, you know, like I said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's it.
You're like, okay, I'm stepping up my game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't feel like the market here has slowed down at all. I mean,
Me either. In fact, we hired 2 new inspectors.
Oh wow, that's great.
So go figure. You just never underestimate the power of team. That's what I say. You got,
Absolutely.
you know, people around you doing certain things, and then it just explodes. So
Yeah, no,
we're
totally agree
fortunate.
with that.
Absolutely. How about like the last, like I don't even know how many days we have left in 2020, like what, like 43, 45, something along those lines. Like, how are you feeling about like the rest of this year? And, you know, anybody who's on the line is able to chime in, join the conversation. We're just starting talking about this topic today. So like, what about the last block? How are you feeling, Jeanine?
No, I think it hasn't, you know, like I said, normally November and December, it gets a little bit more quiet. But it just hasn't stopped. I mean, you know, I think Heather said the same thing. You just haven't, you don't get a break in a good way. You know, it's a good thing. So it's a little bit of a different market than we've experienced. So, but it's all good. It's all good.
It's so interesting. I hear like so many people trying to get into like homes and like trying to beat that like holiday like gap, trying to get into their new home by the new year, and, you know, just spend their time with their family. I think that's like the best Christmas, New Year's gift you can give yourself and your family is a new house. So
I agree. I just said that yesterday. We were on a call, and I said, you know, let's just also slow down for a minute and realize that you can't buy peace and you can't buy time, especially with your family. So you do have to, it's a balance, but it's super important to do that. Like me, you know, the kids and the grandkids, without that focus, you know, you got to know your why.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Zach. Good morning, Andy. I see everybody's like joining us in today. We're just talking about like 2021 and the rest of the year. I think you're still muted, Zach, if you're trying to say something.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. Good morning,
Zach.
Morning. He's ready to go. He's got his headset on. He's got his mic. All right, brother.
I feel like I need that. Like the whole setup.
Yeah.
You like zone out.
Yeah.
When you work at the office, you have to.
Right.
Gotta tune everybody out and get in the zone.
Mhm.
That is a cool headset you have there, Zach.
That's
It
pretty cool.
is.
I
That's some
recommend.
serious stuff.
I actually recommend if anybody is working at the office, PLT. That's one right here.
PLT.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
writing that down.
Yeah, it's noise canceling. The only reason I use this one is because my laptop
Well,
disconnects
I've
from
done that
Bluetooth.
in the
service.
past.
Right.
So cool. PLT.
Yeah,
I have
noise
some, but
canceling.
they're not wireless either, and it's really kind of awkward.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Morning, good morning. How's everybody doing?
Morning,
Aaron?
Good
Aaron.
morning.
Morning, Aaron.
Good morning. Good morning, Jody. See, Jody's joining us.
Morning,
Jerry's joining
Jody.
us.
Hey, girl.
All right. So we are about to kick off in just a second, a few minutes. I know there's text going out to a few hundred people right now, so this should start filling up. But we're looking forward to hosting this thing. Let me move this virtual background that's going kind of crazy. But let's go around the horn and just get started with what do you want to get out of today? Or better yet, what's one thing that you're focused on doing for the last, I don't think it's 45 days anymore. I think it's 43 days of the year. So what are you focused on doing the last 43 days of the year to close out the year strong and prepare for next year? Who wants to, let's get a few answers from some of our real estate people out there. Who wants to kick us off and tell us, like, what do you focus on the next 43 days? How are you closing the year out? Who wants to share something? Craig, can I go to you, man? You're probably up and away. I mean, you're all the way across the pond. So let me unmute you real quick. If you could unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm
Greg,
good.
What are you focused on, man? What are you
Well,
doing?
me personally, or the clients I'm working with?
What are you telling agents they should be focusing on?
Well, for the past, like, you're quite right. I mean, we got 7 weeks to the end of the year, so basically it's just closing this year out, knowing exactly where you want to be. One of the things we're doing, because obviously it's so holiday season, is we're getting our guys to look at the 40 odd days that's left of this year and start marking clearly on the calendar which days are work days and which days are family days. Because the one thing I find that slows people down from productivity is when they start crossing over and thinking they should be with the family, and then they're not working and thinking they should be working with the family. So that grey area causes people to be non-productive. So I would say number one thing is clearly marking your calendar between now and the end of the year, which ones are family days and commit, and which ones are work days and commit, and set yourself a goal and create a picture of what business you want to take into to January. How many people in the pipeline, how many listings, how many pendings, and just make it happen. That's it.
Love it. What do you think agents should be doing? Like, what do you think most agents are not doing between now and the start of next year that they should be doing, but they usually wait till January to start, Craig?
Yeah, it's that New Year's resolution thing, isn't it? Don't give up smoking on the 31st of January. Throw your cigarettes away today. It's like whatever you want to happen in January. I was actually having a coaching call last night with my coach, Mike Krantz, and he just reminded me of the 3 things that we're asking our agents at the moment is, number 1, what is a habit that you're already doing that you want to strengthen? Number 2, what is a habit that you know you should be doing that you're not doing? And number 3, what is a skill set that you know you should be improving that you haven't improved? And make sure all those 3 things are in place before you get to the end of this year. Simple. That's it.
Love it. Love it. Let's go. We're going to start in just a minute, but I want to go around and get maybe 1 or 2 more answers. What are you focused on between now and the end of the year? So we've got about 43 days left. If I'm counting properly, it might be a day off with leap year. It screws us up. But real quick, just raise your hand virtually or literally. And I want to hear from 2 or 3 more people. What are you doing to close out the year strong? Or I'm just going to start calling on those you guys that are looking at me. Rick, can I call on you, man? Oh, Jeanine, I'll go to you. Let's go. What are you doing to close the year out?
Yeah, well, and I really appreciate, and that was a great response that he had just given, and wonderful. And I'm the same way. I think for me, it's you tend to, during the holiday seasons, even though this one's a little bit different than normal, you tend to get busy with shopping, your CE classes and whatnot. And I actually, when I started using the Tom Ferry coach a year ago, October, he actually, I saw a pattern over the years since I've been in real estate, since 2005. That's how long I've seen the pattern. But it wasn't until I met the coach that he actually looked at it. And he said, "Why are your sales so low in January?" he said, why do you think your sales are so low in January and February? And then I was like, okay, because, usually by November, December, you do what everyone else does. You just basically, do your classes, shop, it's a holiday, kind of slack. So that was the first thing he changed when I worked with me, and I just hit, because I'm big keeping up with Sphere and past clients. So I made sure at the end of the year, October, November, December, I didn't stop. I never stopped. I just kept keeping in touch. And automatically for 2020, it was that you were able to see a complete turnaround just by, doing that. So just, keep on doing what you do all year round. And just because it's the holidays, you shouldn't slack and just take off. And you can still do all those things, great things, shopping, whatever. But, like he said, just schedule it in and make sure you're doing what you need to do to make your 2021 strong.
Love it. Love it. Who else wants to tell us, what are you doing to close out the last 43 days of the year? Let's get 2 more answers, and then we're going to go to our sponsors and hear from who else wants to share. Just raise your hand literally, or the little virtual raise hand thing, and whoops, that is not what I meant to do. Sorry. Sean, you're spotlighted now accidentally. All right. Let's see.
I'll go.
Mario, let's see what you got.
Yeah, similar to what Jeanine mentioned, whatever efforts you put out forward now, between now till the end of the year, are going to be reflected in January and February. So I'm adamant about going strong right around this time when everybody's taking a break. We need to be going stronger. And ideally, by the end of the summer, you should have filled at least 80% of the goal to where September, October will be your downtime.
Love it. Love it. Who else? What are you doing to close out the year strong? Last 43 days. What are you focused on? What's the biggest thing that you're focused on? What's the number one goal you're trying to accomplish? I'm going to start calling a couple people because we got some talented people on the line. Carrie, can I hear what you're doing to close out the year strong? You're muted, so give it.
I'm unmuting myself. Good morning, everyone. So we got together our team and kind of mapped out the last quarter of the year so that, we're not tempted to just sort of slide throughout the year and then not start off with a good, strong beginning to 2021. So we, and what we did was we took everybody's business plan that they had set up for 2020, looked at whether they were on track or not, and then developed activities to help them reach their goals for the last quarter, or even adjust their goals for the last quarter of the year. And then what we did was we got together and brainstormed all the community, we're being careful about community events for next year. A couple, we're planning to do some later in the year, good Lord willing. And then like contests, fun stuff like that to dig deeper into our sphere of influence and really build those relationships with our database. So, so that's kind of fun because it gave us that energy and that spark to, look towards 2021 and have a game plan already in place. So that's it.
Love it. All right. Who else wants to share? Let's get 1 or 2 more answers, and then let's kick this whole thing off. Who else wants to share? I'm going to just start calling on people because I see too many talented people here. Rick Brown, what are you doing, man? What are you focused on the last 45 days? And what are you telling your team to focus on for the last 43 days of the year?
Yeah, very much like Carrie, we're actually already looking at 2021. Honestly, with what's closing for this year, we've already set our clinic, calling it BHG 2.0 for 2021. We've been obviously full steam ahead for the last, I want to say 4 months, and we've over doubled production from our goal. So I feel like, we're still sitting strong with, hitting the doors, knocking on them, doing the open houses, which is obviously something we pride ourselves on in this team, 2 a week per agent, consistently. We're just not letting off the gas, looking that, we already know that, 30-day close, we're in January. So we're already in the 2021 focus.
Love it. Love it. All right. So we're going to kick this thing off because we've got a lot to get through. So I'm going to let people keep coming in as they come in. And for anyone coming in late or anyone that joins us late, don't worry. We will email out the recap of this whole thing. So we don't want to waste any of your time. This thing goes, so you guys have an idea. We go till about 11 o'clock, but we have an optional networking lunch that goes from 11 to noon. Most people don't stick on that whole time, but what we will do is for those of you that don't have to run right after, we'll keep the conversation going. So if anyone's still talking, if there's more questions, if anyone wants to continue conversation, just hang out. If you can't stay because you've got to go right at 11, just jump off. It's no big deal. But here's what I will say. In a second, Nikisha, actually, later in the call, I'll have Nikisha drop a feedback link in the chat box. It would be extremely helpful if everyone that could hear me right now made sure you filled that link out so we get your feedback on this session, because we change every single month based off your feedback. And so we've done, I think, 8 or 9 of these now. We're definitely not perfect. We're learning the virtual world. We're learning to navigate it. We're learning to effectively, you know, feature more people, have you guys engage with more people. But the truth is we learn from each session. They don't all go perfectly. So your feedback is extremely appreciated. We will be back live in January if everything goes as planned. So let's give you guys a clap in front of the camera if you're excited about that. I think that's pretty cool. But we'll be back at Harry Buffalo. That's January 21st, if I'm not mistaken, the third Thursday of the month, 9:30 to 11. If you have never joined us, I'll just tell you real quick. This is welcome to Masterclass Orlando. Thanks for coming. This is the 28th edition of Masterclass Orlando. And we do this once a month, January through November. This is run by Orlando Real Producers and its preferred partners. So basically, we have about 63 partners that make our platform happen. And the whole point of this, Orlando Real Producers is a private community and a publication that connects the top 500 agents in Greater Orlando. So what we do every month is, instead of only hosting private events each year and only putting out a private publication, we host a monthly educational event where we have the top 500 agents teaching the entire real estate community. So it doesn't matter if you're a top 500 agent, if you're a new agent, if you're an up and comer, doesn't matter. We love you joining us. The only people, everyone that's on here that is a vendor is one of our approved partners. That means that they're one of the most referred service providers in town. That means that they support our platform, not just this event. Like usually you go to an event and it means that, oh, the sponsor paid a few $100 or brought some donuts. These people commit to literally 2, 3, and 4-year commitments that are monthly. They are thousands and thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, because they believe in the relationships with you guys that much. And so with that said, I want to be really clear about something I'm not always clear about. If you have ever been to an Orlando Real Producers event, can I just get like a wave in front of the camera? If you've ever been to a Real Producers event, a masterclass, virtually, live, anything like that, just wave in front of the camera so we can see. Okay, so if you have ever gotten anything out of a Real Producers event, a publication, anything like that, the best way you can say thank you is just connect with a couple of our partners. Our partners are the reason it happens. There's 63 of them. They are highly recommended. And so real quick, Nikisha is dropping the link right now in the chat box. That is our preferred partner list. If you can all just click it, it'll literally download a partner list. You can look through it on your own time. I will personally introduce you to anyone on that list you'd like an introduction to, or any category you need an introduction to. I know last week I see Steve right next to me. I had like 9 people say, I need an accountant, and Steve got like 9 introductions. But if you're looking for somebody, just shoot me a message afterwards. It's on the feedback survey as well, so you can actually fill it out there. But the best way to say thank you is connect with our partners. And the second best way is send us the people you love. If there's vendors you really love doing business with that are amazing people, send them our way. We'd love to keep growing this community and keep doing more events and more things for you guys. Cool? So without further ado, let's kick it off. There are, I think, 8 sponsors, if I counted properly, today that made this event happen today, that stepped up. So I'm going to just let them all, we don't have enough time for them to really get into what they do, but I'm going to let them each speak for just a minute, tell you what's up, share what they do, drop their info in the chat box. And if you guys could do them the favor, just trying to connect with a couple of them, it helps us continue to make this thing happen, because if our sponsors stay happy, they keep paying for these things to happen and we keep doing them. So first, I'm going to go to Jody because she's smiling. So I'm going to go to Jody Seltzer with Celebration Title Group, each of our sponsors, just a minute. And Jody, take it away.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for letting me kick off Masterclass today. My name is Jody Seltzer, Director of Sales at Celebration Title. So our mantra for November is abundance. So we're super excited to be here. It's been kind of a crazy year, as we all know, in the world of real estate and the world in general. So we just want to take our minute to say how grateful we are. We've seen so much collaboration, so much elevation of our industry this year, and it's been a beautiful thing to watch. So we're grateful to all of our partners, we're grateful to our friends, and we're grateful for all the abundance that we've received. So something happening at Celebration Title, we have rolled out a complete online platform called Celebrate You. go to celebrateyouonline.com, check out all of our amazing classes and events. Also, if you haven't done your business plan for 2021, we would love to be your partner in success. We'd love to help elevate your business and help you grow. So again, we're incredibly grateful to be part of Masterclass this year. Thank you so much to all of our agents and our friends for all of your support. We're looking forward to an amazing 2021. So thank you guys. Thanks for having us. Celebration Title Group.
Love it. Thank you, Jody. Let's give her a round of applause in front of your cameras. Now we're going to go to Vic DeVore, DeVore Design. Vic, if you unmute yourself, oh, you're good. You're still muted even though you're unmuted. Is it on your microphone? I'll give it another minute. I still don't hear you. And if not, I'm going to jump to someone and jump back to you. Okay. Heather, let's go to you. Heather with the Jeff Mackey team with Pillar to Post.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for another grateful day. So I am also following the lead from Jody. I'm Heather Hurry with Pillar to Post, the Jeff Mackey team, your home inspections company and partner, and I'm so thankful today. Thankful today for the partners that we have in the room, for the realtor partners and affiliates. We couldn't do it without all of you. So really that is what our focus is this end of the year as well, is just being thankful. So we also are doing just being focused on having availability because it's end of the year. So if you need an inspection and you need it same day, next day, or the following, we can help you. And same day reporting, that's a big deal. So we're just closing out the year strong, just wanting you to know that we're here. Also that we have CE classes if you're trying to sneak in that last minute CE. So to everyone, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful for you. And it's just good to see everybody. Heather Hurry, Pillar to Post, the Jeff Mackey team.
Love it. All right, let's go to Zach Blesnick with Home First Lending, even though his name is wrong here. Zach, can you hear me? I got you unmuted. Go ahead.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'll change that. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Fix that.
I'll fix
All
it
right.
for you.
No problem. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. My name is Zach Blesnick. I am the VP of Business Development for Home First Lending right here in Central Florida. We've been here in the Central Florida community for 15 years. We're a broker, not a lender, which essentially means that we work for you and your client, not the bank. So our goal is to become your client's best friend in the transaction, tell them what to say, what not to say, what to do, what not to do. And our mission is to be the hometown lender, providing you guys the service you deserve at the speed you desire. We're very fortunate to be a 5-star rated lender on Zillow in the #1 spot in Orlando with over 1,000 reviews. We've got a ton of different products we do, but lately our claim to fame has been really helping real estate agents grow and monetize their database like never before. We've deployed some amazing marketing tools, some funnels that are working really, really well. So if you guys are looking to deploy and learn about funnels on your marketing to basically turbocharge your database, get with me after this. I want to show you guys some stuff that we put out on social and our emails, our websites, that is literally having clients click and request information faster and quicker and more often than ever before. So when you've got clients inbound coming to you more often, it's always a great thing. Gary Vee said something really impactful when I watched him once. He said the best form of prospecting is the one that you don't have to do anymore. So when the business comes to you, I think that's a great day. So guys, I'll put my information in the contact. Love to connect with you all. Let's have an awesome masterclass. Thanks again, Aaron.
Love it. Love it. All right, let's go to Mauricio with Artesian Title Group. Mauricio, if you could unmute yourself and you're good to go.
All right, good morning, Aaron. Thanks again for always hosting this. I'm Mauricio with Artesian Title. We are just happy to be part of this event. Happy that you host it every month, Aaron. And here at Artesian, we close anywhere in the state of Florida, anytime, any place. We have concierge coaches that come to you and your clients. That's a complimentary service, and they can explain every document being signed. I know a lot of times people use notaries and they can't answer questions for your clients, so that's a big thing there. And we have a media package that we offer as well. So check us out, Aaron. Thank you so much for everything, and we'll see you soon.
All right, if you could just drop your info in the chat box if you're one of our speaking sponsors. Let's go over to Steve Bell with Harding Bell International, the most requested vendor. Last session, we talked about finances and saving money on taxes. Dusty also was highly requested because he spoke, but I feel like that's kind of cheap. Doesn't really count. But let's go to Steve.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm not quite as peppy as Heather and Jody, but I'll do my best because I am in the accounting field. You know, that's kind of boring. But anyways, it's great to be a part of Orlando Real Producers. We're excited. We know a lot of you HBI, Harding Bell International, has been in the industry, the business in the Orlando area, supporting realtors for over 20 years now. And, you know, kind of the big area of expertise for us that would kind of help you guys and your clients is that we focus on real estate agents, property managers, tax for them, accounting, really anything along those lines. Also foreign investors, that's been especially for us, FERPTA, and those kind of things. Now, as the end of the year's coming up, a lot of you guys might be thinking about tax and those kind of things. As an agent, if you need advice or need help setting up a structure for your business, we're here to help you. I just want to put this out there as well. Whether you come and do business with us or your clients, I'm always, and my team is always available to answer questions, to make things go smooth for you and your people. But we're just really excited to be here. Again, I'll put my info in the chat box, and we're thankful to be a part of this community. And if I can be of service to you and to make your lives better and easier and more profitable, we're here for you. Again, Steve Bell with Harding Bell International. Thanks a lot, guys.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Thanks, Steve. I'm going to go last but not least to Jeff Velez with Old Republic Home Protection. Jeff, you are muted, but if you unmute yourself, actually, I think I unmuted you. You should be good to go.
You
Jeff.
did. Hey, good morning, everyone. Hey, welcome to my mobile office. Doing a little kid pickup and delivery here. You know, first of all, I want to thank Aaron for keeping the fire going this year. It was easy to say, hey, we can't meet in person, so we're not going to do Masterclass. And doing it virtually has been a home run. And I'm a regional vice president, so I cover 8 states for Old Republic, and I'm part of Real Producers in about 16 markets. And Aaron is the best of the best. Without question, I preach that to all the other partners in the other areas, that they should, you know, take some time and listen to him and what he does. But for us, you know, it's crazy. We're ahead of last year's numbers, even with the April, May, and June, you know, disaster that we had, and when we went on lockdown and COVID. We're ahead of last year, but we're still having an issue with warranties being included on transactions. And I know it's really hard. You guys are out there making full price offers, no concessions, and warranties are getting left off the transaction. It's not the end. Please don't leave your clients out to dry there. We have a product that allows the client to pay monthly post-closing, and, you know, service calls are up about 30%. People are home, things are breaking down, and you don't want that client calling you 2 months down the road, says, hey, my water heater went, it cost me $1,500. Hey, my AC went, it was $1,000 repair. My dishwasher went. You know, please protect your clients. If you can include it in a transaction, please reach out to Sabrina Serrano or Cameron Foster. I'm surrounded by some great people here in this market. Please reach out to them and ask them how they can get their information to your clients to give them an opportunity to get a warranty post-closing. Thanks.
Love it. Love it. All right. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. So give me just 2 seconds and I will.
And I think my mic is back, Aaron.
Oh, perfect, Vic. Let's go to you. I was just about to say it.
So yeah, apologize. Vic, I'm Vic DeVore with DeVore Design. We do real estate photos, video, and we've recently launched home staging service. But as we prepare for 2021, we're launching a couple new services to help real estate agents generate regular video content for their social media channels and to help stay connected with their audience. So if it's something that you'd like to talk about as we make our way into 2021, I'm going to put my contact information into the chat. But if you know me, reach out. It's something that I've been working with a few different agents on, but we're launching a service to kind of make it efficient, to help you continue to create content week after week that you can distribute to your audience. So again, my name is Vic DeVore with DeVore Design. You can reach me at devoredesign.com, but check the chat window here in Zoom, because all of us are putting our contact information there, and I hope that you'll reach out, and good luck for 2021. Have a great holiday season too. So thanks a lot, Aaron. I appreciate the opportunity.
Love it. Thank you. So one more time, if you were a sponsor of today's event in particular, if you could just drop your info in the chat box, not necessarily all of our partners. I dropped our partner list in the chat box for people that want all of it, but the 8 sponsors for today. And then last but not least, we'll give a 1, 2, 3 clap since they're not here to Octavian Cantilli. If he gets on later, I'll throw him on with Real Estate Imaging Pros. I know we won't hear it, but could we get a 1, 2, 3 clap on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3 clap. Works pretty well. You know, it sounds like we did it perfectly in sync. So anyway, we're going to get this thing started. There's only 2 last things I want to share with you. Number 1 is this is our last session of the year. Next year, we're kicking off it live at Harry Buffalo, January 21st. It's going to be on Elevate Your 2021 or Elevate Your Life in 2021 is the topic. You can register now at masterclassorlando.com. It should be live. If it's not, it'll be live in a little bit. But you can go to masterclassorlando.com. You can sign up right now. It will definitely sell out probably this month. So if you wait till January, you're probably not getting in because the capacity is a lot smaller than normal, as you can imagine. So 2 other things. One is hashtag Masterclass Orlando is how you share your photos. Please help us. We fill the magazine with all the photos from the session. We would love them not to just be from my office and my computer. It'd be awesome if we shared all of yours. So just posting these on social with hashtag Masterclass Orlando would help us out a ton. And then last but not least, make sure that you're on camera, that you're ready to go. We're going to throw you. We might even throw you into breakouts with other people to discuss. We want to hear from as many of you as possible. Have your camera on, have a pen and paper. We'll email the recap out to everyone as well. And that's pretty much it. We thank you guys for being engaged all year. And I really appreciate everyone being on here today. It is not easy to get 84 people on a Zoom, especially with only 6 days notice. This is the only time we have ever announced the masterclass 6 days in advance. We announced it on Friday morning last week. So the fact that you guys are here, thank you guys. Like seriously, thank you guys. So now, without further ado, we're going to kick it off to our resident coach, I would like to call him, for Real Producers. He has been, we've had overwhelmingly positive response every time we featured him this year. We've had Wayne Salmans speak twice before. He's my personal coach. He's also the coach of Jordan that runs Dallas Real Producers. He writes for Real Producers every single month. He's featured in dozens of markets. You can read his articles in our Coaches Corner. You should, because they're really good. But just so that you know a little bit about him if you have been under a rock. By the way, if you like this, you're about to get a shot of energy, like a 5-hour energy. And you're going to want to go back and look at all the replays on YouTube of all the other times he spoke. But Wayne has coached over 5,000 entrepreneurs. He was one of the top coaches for the #1 coaching company in real estate in the world. He's been voted in NAR's 30 under 30 top realtors. He's been called the empowerment coach, the entrepreneur mentalist, the heart coach, an extreme results guy, and an epic life strategist. But at the end of the day, his favorite title is dad. When he's not writing, coaching, or speaking, you'll find him rolling around on the floor playing with Legos and his 5 kids and laughing with his beautiful wife. He is the author of the book. Oh man, I thought I had it right here. Getting back up. Wherever it is. I'll show it later. But anyway, without further ado, let's just go to Wayne Salmans. He's going to speak about 2021 starts right now. Wayne, take it away.
I feel like you should introduce me to my kids. Like maybe you could convince my kids that I'm semi-cool. Like maybe that would be a great thing. All right, what is up, everybody? How are you? Vic, I love your laugh. Yeah, if you get it, most of us have humility coaches built in, right? They're like this big, and they make sure we are humble consistently. All right, let's jump into this awesomeness. So I'm thrilled.
Hey, Wayne, actually, can I say one thing you're not going to say?
I don't think I can stop you.
I'm going to make sure I say this because Wayne won't say it. Look, I spoke with Wayne this week, and if any of you get something out of his conversation, if you like what he has to say, if you like the energy, which I have a feeling you all will, 1, maybe 2 spots left for coaching for any of you that are interested in either him or working with the Hero Nation coach. I have found it to be phenomenal. I know Mike that's next to me here works with him. I know Jody that's next to me, her boss Amanda works with him. So I know there's a whole bunch of people on this call. They happen to be like literally connected to my box, so I figured I'll mention them. But reach out to Wayne after. I'll have him drop his info in the chat box. If you're looking for a coach, reach out to Wayne. He's not going to pitch you anything, so I figured I'll plug him.
Hey, dude,
go ahead, Wayne.
Thank you, my friend. All right, so let's get into this amazingness, and I'm just gonna get right after it. Aaron said I had like 18 and a half minutes, so here we go. So get ready to listen fast, write fast. So here's what I want to get into. As you look at 2021, this year, everything else. Here's my question for you. What do you want this next year? And what I mean by that is, does anything feel much better than momentum? Like, how awesome does it feel when you are in momentum and you're like, everything is rolling, things are consistent. Like momentum feels amazing. Would you agree? Like momentum feels awesome. So here's what and by the way, I will share this with you. Let me throw this up really quick so you can go get this as we talk. If you do want to go get some of the stuff I'm talking about, we developed a whole like momentum toolkit and like post-pandemic relaunch, all the stuff. This is so good for 2021. So you can go
Just drop it in your chat box.
/relaunch and get that, which would be awesome. So here's the thing. When we talk about momentum, one of the things I think about is momentum is really this, if you look at it in the dictionary, momentum is like this driving force gained by the development of a process or course of events, right? Like it's gained and developed by the process, by a process or the development of a course of events. Meaning, how many times you go, like, I hope I'm in momentum today. I hope I have motivation today. I hope I have energy today. I hope I have focus. You can create that stuff. Are you with me? Like you can create, most people, right? And I'm going to be real hardcore. The losers wait for momentum to show up. Everybody that's on this call, we create momentum. Are you with me? Right. So if you're waiting for momentum to show up, get off the call. You're on the wrong call. If you're someone that acknowledges we create our own momentum, you're in the right place. But here's what's so interesting. We want momentum in 2020. We want momentum in 2021. And because it's easier, momentum's easier than starting over. Agreed? Right? Momentum, I think, leads to some happiness, right? If progress equals happiness, momentum equals happiness. Yes. So let me throw this out there. Why do most people hate Mondays? Right? Would you agree that a lot of people, not on this call, right? I'm talking about other people, okay? Right? Jack, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about other people, okay? So most people hate Mondays, right? And here's kind of my theory on this. Part of my theory on it is, especially for entrepreneurs, like we spend Monday through Friday grinding it out, working our tail off to get in momentum. And then most people spend Saturday and Sunday screwing it all up. Most things would stay in momentum unless we pull the brakes. It's kind of like a bowling ball. A bowling ball is going to keep rolling down the road if it wasn't for gravity and to stop pulling it. So we spend all this time trying to get momentum, and then most people yank the handbrake Saturday and Sunday, and they got to freaking reboot the whole system again Monday. Yes? Do you know what I'm talking? Have you ever had that happen? I mean, or heard of it happening to other people, right? Right. We've all heard of it happening to other people for sure. Right. So here's what I want to throw at you. I love this. This is the December calendar for some people. So right here, they pretend to work. Okay, so they're pretending to work. Then, right, they're not even pretending anymore for most people. Right, they're pretending to, they say they're going Christmas shopping over here in the blues. Right, then they're actually Christmas shopping. Some of us, right, like true confessions. Okay, the day before, I get it. And then destroy your body with alcohol and food. And last but not least, prepare for the inevitable disappointment of New Year's Eve and the realization you've accomplished absolutely nothing this year. Would you agree that a lot of people, this is how they do December? Would you agree with me on that? Like, it's freaking brutal. We work all year long to gain momentum. And then most people spend an entire month yanking the handbrake on that momentum. Now here's what I'm not saying. I want you to work 80 hours a week in December. That's 100% not what I'm saying. Well, what I am saying is this. And if you're leading teams, right? Jody, you know this, right? We talked a couple weeks ago. If you're leading teams, here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit down with yourself, your team, and go, look, what days are we going to work in December? And let's nail those. What days we're not going to work in December? And don't work. Right? Most people will show up for the next 4 or 5 weeks, but they won't actually get anything done. Right? Then they'll I'll just be real direct, right? They'll half-ass it when they're at work, and they're going to screw it up when they're at home. And then they're going to wake up January 2nd and go, I got to reboot this whole entire system, and it's going to be brutal. I want you to have an amazing December, but I want you to realize that if you screw it up, right? Like somebody said earlier, right? 2021 starts right now. If you screw up December, it's going to cost you months. Would you all agree? right? If you screw up December, right? And this is what a lot of people do, right? They go, I'm so burned out. I'm so exhausted. So whatever, right? Which, by the way, if the year was 16 months, I don't think we would hear about burnout for like another 2 or 3 months. Isn't that weird? All right. But most people go, I'm burned out. I'm tired. I want you to relax and renew. I just want you to do it intentionally, not haphazardly. So you don't have to restart the whole entire system January 2nd. Does that make sense? Unless you're willing to give up 4 months, 1 month of screwing up is going to cost you another 3. Would you agree? All right. So here's where I get with that. I was like, okay, that was really awesome. Doom and gloom. This is the worst motivational coach ever. So here's what I want you to think. What are you going to do in December to get the plane up and in the air for 2021? Right. And it doesn't mean 1,000 things. I don't mean I want you to do 100 different things. I just mean most people wake up January 1st. They're going to go, where's the plane? They're going to have to go find the plane. They're going to have to pull it out on the runway. They're going to have to gas it up. They're going to go through all this drama. What I want you to do is make sure your plane is in the air, right? January 2nd, and you are rocking and rolling. So here's how we get there. We get there by being clean and clear, right? And let me throw this out there. Like I said, you can go get the toolkit if you want, right? The Hero Nation / relaunch. You can go get that. Yeah, here's what I want to throw out there. I want to give you a couple of things that cause you to lose momentum and a couple ways to get momentum back. Is that good? Can I get some amens? Okay, my dad's a pastor, so if I get a little too hallelujah Jesus, just bear with me. I love Jesus. I curse. It's confusing. I get it, right? We'll figure it out at some point, okay? All right, Heather. Thank you, Heather. There you go. We're weird, right? Okay, good. If you're not a little weird, we're not going to work. All right, so here's a couple of things that cause you to lose momentum. Let me share those with you first. So, like I said, if you want to go, you can get the whole toolkit there that has a lot of stuff that I'm going to talk about. Here's 4 things that really cause us to lose momentum. And the first one is this. The first one is a lack of clarity. Now, you all, I'm preaching to the choir a little bit because you all get this. And yet my question for you is, how clear are you on your must for December? Not the shoulds. Most people have a million shoulds, right? I shoulda. And then they end up having a really shouldy life. Okay. I'm not talking about the shoulds. I'm talking about do you have a handful of musts? Here's the must, right? And it's not 25 things. It's a handful. It's like, hey, I'm going to call my database and check in with them, see if they need any help. I'm going to do these 1 or 2 other things. What are the musts? And I'll tell you what, lack of clarity causes the handbrake to get pulled in your momentum. Agreed? Right? So lack of clarity is going to mess you up. The second thing is, my slides are all in front of each other. The second one is comparison. Nothing steals your joy and momentum faster than comparing yourself to somebody else. It's brutal and it is easy for us all to do. Right? As soon as you get to another level, you start comparing yourself to people above you. As soon as you get to that level, right? It's right. Here's what I want you to realize. You're not even playing the same game. What I had to realize is I was comparing myself to other people. We didn't start at the same place. We don't have the same goals. We don't want to go to the same place, right? I'm comparing my Monopoly game to them playing chess, right? It's not even the same thing, but I'll tell you what, you can look in your side view mirrors every once in a while to see how everybody else is doing, just to pace yourself a little bit. But I'll tell you what, if you stare out your side view mirror too long, you're going to hit a tree. Agreed? Right? You're going to crash. So it's okay to glance like, woo, Aaron's kicking some butt. What's he doing over there, right? It's okay to glance, but if I stare, I'm going to crash my own car. All right, number 3, the third one, and dear sweet mother, y'all got to take care of yourself. Some of you are burned out, and it's like times 783 because you haven't figured out how to take care of yourself. Meaning you go 250 miles an hour, then you crash and burn, you go 20 miles an hour, then you go 250, then you crash and burn, right? Here's what I'm saying. You've got to figure out how to take care of you. Right? We can spend a whole hour on that. If you had to write a self-care plan for you, what would be on there? It'd probably be like, go for a walk, drink some water, right? Get a little bit of sleep every once in a while, right? If you're not taking care of you, it's going to hurt your momentum. And then the last one is distractions. And I'll tell you what, we could spend 17 hours on distractions, but would you agree distractions? I think distraction kills more dreams than failure. I think being distracted often kills more dreams than the failures, the bumps along the road just to get there. Right. So keep in mind, those 4 things are going to cause you to pull the handbrake in your momentum. So when you look at this, you go, for December, I got to be clear. I'm going to compare myself to who I was yesterday. I'm going to compare myself to my doing better than I did last December. That's what I'm comparing to. right? I'm going to take care of myself in a healthy way, which means when I'm not working, I'm not going to be working, right? And then I'm going to continue to put the blinders on and stay focused on my stuff. Okay, here's what you can do to really move forward, okay? And I love these: clean, clear, consistent. I couldn't come up with the fourth C, so it's sustainable, okay, right? I couldn't find another word, right? Somebody help me out. So clean and clear. Here's what I mean by clean and clear. I want your goals to be clean and clear, right? If they're too complicated, it's almost impossible to take action on them, right? Are they, and they may be big, somewhat complicated goals, but can I boil them back down? That's what I do with my clients all the time. We take these big things, right? I can make anything complicated, but bringing it back down to simple. So someone like Jody can share that in a way that lands with her team and everybody can accept it is a big deal. Make sense, right? They got to be clean. They got to be clear. I should be able to turn around and go, hey, Aaron, here's my 3 goals. Here's how I'm going to get there. And it not be a 78-minute dissertation. That means if it takes that long, it means I don't actually know what I'm doing. Are you with me? Right? Complexity is the enemy of achievement. Tony Robbins says it all the time. So they got to be clean, clear. Now, here's the last 2 that are so critical. Are they consistent and sustainable? Here's what I think is so interesting. Most of us high achievers, we consistently bite off more than we can chew. Yes, we make these big commitments. I'm going to make 100 calls a day, right? Somebody like Mike could typically make that commitment, right? Mike's a badass, right? He'd be like 1,000 calls a day, game on, let's do it, right? And I'm sure he could do it a couple of days, but is it sustainable and can he be consistent at it? Are you with me? I want your goals to be clean. I want them to be clear. Is it something you can do consistently and is it sustainable? Most people experience burnout and all this other stuff because they haven't got clean, clear, consistent, and sustainable to allow them to stay in momentum. Does this make sense? So my question for you is this: what's the one thing you need to do right now today to stay in momentum in the next 6 weeks? Just write it down. What's the 1 or 2 things you're going to do? What's the 1 or 2 things? Maybe you're going to take a couple minutes to just get clear. Maybe you're going to take a couple minutes and get out your December calendar and go, you know what days am I working? What days am I not working? Just get clear. Right? What are the 2 things you're going to do? Maybe you're going to go and if you want, you can go and download that toolkit. It's got like, hey, here's how to rephase your business going into this next year, right? Regroup, recraft, rewrite, reengage. I got all the toolkits in there. Maybe just go like, look, I'm going to make a commitment to go through this thing to really get my business rocking and rolling this next year. So share with me or put, I'd love for you to share with me or throw them in the chat box. What are a couple things you're going to do to stay in momentum? Give it to me. What do you got? I want to hear a couple of them. And by the way, I think anytime you can press your space bar and it unmutes you for a second, typically. All right, give me a couple of those. What do you got? What are a couple of things you're going to do?
For me, affirmations work really well just to keep that mental game going strong, to motivate me to keep doing other things.
Amen. Every day, there's a verse in the Bible about how you got to renew your mind every day. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think every day you got to wake up, remind yourself who you are. Right. And if you don't tell yourself who you are, the world will try to tell you who you are. Are you with me? 10 years ago, I almost took my own life. And it was because I didn't know who I was. I forgot who I was. I got wrapped up in all this other crap. So every single day, I remind myself who I am, really. I think that's beautiful, Mike. All right. Give me 1 or 2 more. Mario's ready.
Something as simple. Yeah. Something as simple as a to-do list. I'm not always writing things down that I need to do tomorrow. And I find myself often in the middle of the day, just kind of hovering about, not really feeling productive. So something as simple as planning the day before.
Yes. Dude, it's who I think it was Jim Rohn that said, never start a day until you finish it on paper. Thought that was a really cool quote. Never start a week till you finish on paper. Never start a day till you finish on paper. I think it's a great quote. Yep. So, Aaron, I have no idea how much time I've taken. And yet let me end with this. And then if you have any questions, you can throw at me. Yeah. Here's what I want to end with. You are way better at this than you give yourself credit for. Here's what I mean by that, right? Just by Mario, like what you were saying, if any of you were about to go on vacation and today was the last day before you went on vacation tomorrow, I know last night you would have made a list. I know today you know exactly what you need to get done. You'd have a list made. If somebody calls and says, "Hey, you want to go get a copy?" You'd be like, "No, I got stuff to do. I'm going on vacation tomorrow, right? Like I'm clean. I know what I got. Like it's written out, right? Don't mess with me. I'm going on vacation, right?" What I want you to realize is you are way better at this than you give yourself credit for. So lean in and choose to have massive freaking momentum this next year. If you need help, reach out to Aaron, reach out to me. Let's do a sprint. Let's figure out whatever we got to do to help 2021 really be the best year of your life. All right, Aaron, what do you, any questions, anything else you need from me, my friend?
My bad, I was muted. I love it. Let's give a round of applause to Wayne Salmans. That's all.
Thank you, brother.
I wish they had, man, what's frustrating is they still don't have the unmute all button. I know why they got rid of it, right? It was a pretty good reason because people would like think they're muted and then like the host would unmute them and they'd say stuff no one wanted to hear or wanted to share. But I really wish we could unmute all so everyone could clap for you and you would hear it. So I'll just do the clap. If you guys could one more time, just clap in front of the camera for him.
Thank you, brother.
If you guys got something out of it, he has been tremendous this year for Masterclass. And honestly, one of the biggest and brightest parts of being able to do this virtually has been bringing high caliber speakers like the quality speakers of Wayne Salmon, because honestly, we normally don't get this good of a speaker at Masterclass. You usually have to listen to me and some of the local agents. So it's really nice to have people that can jump in from such a cool studio from across the country or halfway across the country. So thank you so much, Wayne. And if you guys keep your eyes on Real Producer Magazine and on our Facebook page, if you don't get the magazine, you'll read more of his articles. And on YouTube, you can find all the past masterclasses that he has spoken at. So thanks a ton, Wayne. Let's
friend.
Thank you. So without further ado, I'm going to go into our panels and just start. I'm going to basically, here's how it's going to work. I'm going to make this really clear. We've got 4 panelists we want to hear from about a couple different things. I'm going to let them both all jump in and chime in on anything that I ask another panelist that they want to chime in on. But the goal is to hear a little bit from each of the 4 of them. And then I want to go around the horn and hear from as many of you as we have time for and as many of you as you have time for about what you're working on, what your focus is the last 43 days, how you're keeping in touch with your clients, and a handful of other questions related to the sort. But the goal is to let as many of you share your strategies, your ideas as possible. And if there's enough of you engaged and not enough time to chat, I'll throw you guys into some breakouts so you can talk with each other about it. So here's what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to first start off with Sean Frank. Sean runs Mainframe Real Estate. You guys probably know it. Sean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. They sell at least $200 million as a brokerage, probably even more this year. He's got a handful of agents, and what they're known for really is the caliber of agents that they have in their office. They only have agents who really produce, really know what they're doing, take it seriously, and he's regarded as one of the technology whizzes in Central Florida real estate as well. And so he's got a few thoughts that him and I were talking about that I wanted him to share with you guys on their 5 areas of the business for you to evaluate, audit, and really decide if you're on track in. So I want to have him start with that. What you guys can really do is just grab your pen real quick, just hold it up in front of the camera if you got your pen. You're going to want to jot down these 5 things. And Sean, I'm going to kind of let you go with it, but I'm going to try to prompt you with some questions if that's cool. I'm going to highlight you right now. And all right, let's take it away, Sean. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So did I quote you right, by the way? Do you want to just share really quickly how many agents and what you guys sell?
Yeah, no, I mean, you were like almost spot on. I mean, we're kind of going to see how the year closes out. We're going to be over 200 million. We just have about 54 agents.
Love it. Love it. All right. So Sean, let's just dive right in. There are 5 areas of the business that you were telling me agents need to focus on, need to be good at and competent in, and probably should be auditing themselves and their proficiency in. What are the 5 areas? Nikisha, can you drop them in the chat box as he does them?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, real quick, before you go, everyone that's listening, when you get a golden nugget or something money, just drop it in the chat box. Even if you wrote it down, it helps everyone else because we'll email the notes out after. So what are the 5 areas, Sean?
Well, first thing to say is that to really have a strong business, you have to have a holistic approach. And that includes looking at every single aspect of your business as if it was a fully fledged department. So whether you're an individual realtor or you're a company as big as Coca-Cola, you still need to have your job duties, your job descriptions, your organizational charts understood so that you can really make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing and there's no overlap in job description. So the very first thing is to have a CEO mindset. And that means that you have to oversee every department as if you're the boss. You know, most real estate agents are a one-man show. And so with that, they end up not having the accountability and the oversight that they would if they had a boss. One of the most powerful things I heard when I got into sales was something from Mike Ferry, and he said, "You are your own boss. Imagine that you're standing over your shoulder all day long." And that changed the level of accountability that I had in sales. So the first thing is to realize that the CEO is overseeing every single department, and they're constantly evaluating ways to improve all these other departments, which are the other 4 things I'm going to talk about. Most agents are in the department of operations. They're dealing with the transaction all of the time. And most agents that's almost all they ever see is, showing properties, writing contracts, negotiating offers, doing CMAs, all those types of things. And a lot of agents don't really take the time to look at the other departments, which are actually other pillars that are just as important, being one of them being marketing. So how are you, approaching marketing? Obviously, you have vendors that you're leveraging, you have photographers, you have sign installers, and you can probably think of a lot of other types of vendors that you have that you leverage. Another big aspect is the technology side. I know that when a lot of agents, they're busy and they have tunnel vision and they're just keep doing the same thing over and over again. They don't stop to evaluate their systems as often as I think that they should. Poor systems will slow you down more than anything else. You'll be pushing paper, you'll be doing administrative work that's redundant or repetitive. And so really focusing time on the technology side can really improve the way that you're able to, increase productivity and efficiencies. And lastly, the department that I think suffers the most for every single agent is the financial department. It is the one department that I think you should have delegated out automatically. You should have somebody reconciling your bank accounts, telling you your quarterly tax payments, filing your taxes for you. You tell buyers and sellers all the time to not represent themselves, to not go FSBO, to not do discount brokers because they're not in the industry full time. And then some agents still feel like they want to go tackle the finance side on their own. We have a little quiz to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of these 4 departments. And when we gave it to the agents in our office, we found like hands down, everybody was weakest on the financial side. And I think the financial side is actually probably the most important. If you're not doing your taxes correctly, if you're not taking advantage of, all the opportunities when it comes to, filing taxes or being, having your license as an LLC or a PA and paying yourself W-2, there's so many different ways to approach that. And I often say in the finance department that it's like filling a bucket with water and there's a hole in the bucket. There's just no point in trying to go make a lot more money if you're not optimizing the way that you get to keep it at the end of the day.
Yeah. In fact, last week, I want to just chime in real fast. Last week, Dusty Rollins was telling us an example of going and buying a Ferrari and driving it off a cliff once a year. There are people that literally will waste that much in taxes because they don't think about it. And some of you, maybe it's not a Ferrari, but some of you, maybe it's like buying a Ford and just driving it off the cliff each year. And, because you haven't structured your taxes properly. So I just thought I'd add that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I just want to share my screen for just a second, just to kind of show everybody what I'm talking about here. Every organization should have an organizational chart, and each of these departments have people in them. They have job duties and descriptions. And sometimes, especially if you're a single person realtor, you might be the CEO, you might be operations, you might be marketing, you might be technology. Hopefully you're not finance. That's the one thing I encourage people to delegate out. But really think about having oversight in all of these departments. So, you can actually list your job duties and descriptions and for each of these departments and make sure that you're not overlapping. If you have an assistant or a buyer's agent or, somebody that's helping you with marketing or finance, you should not be doing double duty. You should not be stepping on each other's toes. And the only way to really make sure that you're not doing that is to make sure that you have job duties and descriptions and you don't overlap. Somebody in the operations department shouldn't overlap with marketing. And in making those distinctions will make sure that it doesn't matter if you're one person or if you have a team. Understanding job duties and descriptions will make such a big difference. I feel like one of the things, even when Mainframe was small, we only had three people on staff and had agents. As soon as we did an organizational chart, there was so much clarity. There was so much understanding about why, maybe overlapping duties or, two people trying to answer the same question and all that kind of stuff. And once we laid that out, it creates so much clarity in terms of who's responsible for what, so that there's accountability. One of the things that you'll realize is that if somebody's not accountable on paper in a job description, nobody will take accountability for that. And so making sure that everybody understands exactly what their roles are, even if it's the same person doing all these different duties, it really makes a big difference to make sure that all these bases are covered, because everybody's stuck in the transaction and they're working on this all the time, the contract to close. But I'm going to encourage everybody to take a more holistic approach. When you're thinking about 2021, take a lot of steps back, forget all your other departments for a minute, and imagine that you're the CEO. What would you do as the CEO that's going to be different? And how would you make sure that you're optimizing each of these departments? And then when you're in each of these departments, when you're doing the operations, when you're doing the marketing, every time that there's something that is a kink in the system, write it down, make lists of all these different things. You're not going to be able to solve all your problems on the spot, but by making lists of things that you need to tackle, you can send this list back to the CEO basically, and then start really evaluating them and deciding what do you need to focus on to make sure that you can optimize your business. Because a lot of these things are projects that you're going to have to work on. So you're going to have to take the time out later. But if you're not making lists of all these things and how to optimize your departments, you're just going to forget those things. You're going to move on. You're going to keep going contract to close. And then you're going to neglect all the other things that are so important. And especially, I'm going to say it again, like everybody, hopefully, especially with the end of the year and tax season, everybody's focused on the finance part. And hopefully you've been reconciling your bank accounts every month and keeping up, so that it's easy and that you're making the most of the tax filings. Uncle Sam will take as much money as you will give him. And so you really have to make sure that you know what you're doing, because there's no point in making money if you're not keeping it at the end of the year.
Love it. So one more time, just share those 5 areas and then we'll go to our panel. Sean, could you just recap the 5 areas, name the 5?
Yep. CEO mindset, very first thing. You have your operations, which is your transactional activities, marketing, technology, and then finance. And that's pretty much the core components of every single organization, no matter how big it is. And that's why it's so important to make sure that even if you're one person, that you're focusing on all of these different departments for your business. And every business book out there will guide you on these types of things. And they're very, very important to understand. A lot of people underestimate being one person, how important it is, because you can't scale until you understand how this looks on a bigger picture. And when you start adding people, assistants or buyer's agents, whatever, you'll have to have this so you know how they fit in the picture when you start to grow and continue to scale.
Amen. One of the big things we do at Real Producers that we teach all across the country is we teach to create a flow chart, team flow chart. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this. For those of you that haven't, you should have this. But it's actually a flow chart. So if you have the chart that Sean is talking about and a separate flow chart which outlines the positions on the team, what their roles are, where they fit in, and then also we outline the future positions. So we actually have 2 flow charts. We have the current flow chart and we have what we're growing towards. And sometimes that involves separating someone into sales or marketing, separating someone into this or that, delegating something to this area. And when you know the 5 areas and you can really use that to audit, it becomes a lot easier to align your flow chart with the actual processes that are needed. What tends to happen with a lot of people is they just get overwhelmed, and that's when they know they need to hire, because they're overwhelmed, but they don't have the clarity on exactly where they have the overwhelm, where it's coming from, and what area would be the easiest place for them to take some of the pressure off if they got proficient at. Usually it's like, I'm overwhelmed in everything, let me hire someone to do a lot of it, and then they throw too much on the person who's then overwhelmed too. Doesn't really solve the problem. So thank you, Sean. I may go back to you in a little bit and ask you some questions too, if that's cool. But because for the sake of time, I want to go to the next people first. Let's go to our upcoming, you guys don't know this yet, but our upcoming December cover of Orlando Real Producers. Let's go to Jeanine Corcoran. She is killing it this year. Her team is on track to do like 20 million. They are doing a phenomenal job. I want to hear from her what she's phenomenal at is keeping in touch with her sphere. I want to hear what you're doing for the last 45 days of the year, what you're focused on and what you're telling your team to focus on, as well as how are you keeping in touch with your clients in and around the holidays and the new year. So let's go to you, Jeanine.
Okay, I'm muted. Thanks, Aaron. Actually, that's just me personally. I'm over 22 right now, plan to close the end of the year 26, so I didn't include my team in that. But for me, I get a lot of business from past clients in Sphere. So I'm just going to give you, and it's all basic. I'm going to give you 5 points. So the 5 points I give is have a good CRM, because you can't do the follow-up without a CRM.
What do you use?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what CRM do you use?
Oh, I use Total Brokerage, and it actually works real well because there's a CRM and actually a transaction, I guess a transaction follow-up. So it follow-ups on file. So all my agents have that. So that's number one, get a good CRM. Number two is just you have to focus and time block it. My coach, I have a coach from Tom Ferry, Larry White, and he says if it's not on your calendar, it's not happening. So real important, like you said, plan your week ahead, know what you're doing. Because if it's not there, it's not happening. Number three, which avenue with my Sphere? So because everyone is different, no one's cookie cutter. So when I look at my Sphere, my past clients, I look at what avenue of they want to be contacted. So social media, it might be through Facebook, it might be through Instagram message. It might be a text, it might be an email. So everyone's different. So I have notes when I get my list every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, automatic. And it's just, I'm like a robot. I said, they come through and it's like, okay, who's my, 30 something people I have to follow up with today. And it will say, through my notes and activities, it's like, you reached out on Facebook or you reached out a messenger, or this one likes an email, this one likes a phone call. So it's all different. I don't do the same thing for every client. I just kind of cater to what type of personality they are and how they like kind of respond to me. But just keeping in touch with them, they're not all the same.
Do you mind me asking you, Jeanine, before you keep going, where are the 30 coming from? Who's determining the 30? How are they determining the 30? Who are the 30? You have 30 people you're focused on contacting each day, if I'm hearing you right, and you're contacting them in whatever media makes the most sense. So one is, how do you know who the 30 are? And the second is, where and how are you tracking which way to communicate with them?
All through your CRM. Okay,
so your CRM, is it a question you ask them at some point, or is there a form they filled out?
Okay, so great question. So if you don't have a CRM, when you originally start, these are people that you have sold to, people maybe in the pipeline you plan to sell to, or people just your sphere of influence, your friends, your family. They get all put into a database. So let's say you don't have a CRM, the database is probably going to be on an Excel sheet. So whenever you start a CRM, you have to actually input, through Excel, through a CSV, and start there. Once they're in there, then basically you're just constantly updating. So mine repeats, like I don't have to do any work. So if I have a hot buyer, they're in my system.
They're in like a hot buyer.
Yeah, they're showing up every morning. If
every day you're making your 30 contacts, you're organizing them well. What are the most effective strategies you found for actually reaching out to these people? Because we have a lot of top agents on this call that have a CRM, that have it organized. What are you doing that's most effective? Like, what have you learned marketing wise that really drives the most business with your CRM?
I think just interacting in their lives. So let's say someone's on Facebook. Okay, likes don't count. I always tell my agents, likes don't count. You could like all day long, no one even looks, no one cares. Maybe someone does look, I don't know. I don't look at likes. But basically, I go to your page, Aaron. I want to keep in touch with you because you're an old friend. So I'm going to your Facebook page and I'll have it come up on my CRM. I haven't talked to Aaron, and I'll just go in and look at what's going on in your life and comment on your life. I never talk about real estate. I'm going to talk about, business or your son, whatever you post about. Oh, you went to a great restaurant. I'm going to post and just say, hey, that looks really delicious. I'm going to try it one night, and basically it. So you have to definitely interact with your people and just show them that you care and that you want to know what's going on in their life. So I don't believe in likes. I believe in just really interacting. So I think Facebook is like gold and makes it a lot easier to be able to keep up with people. And people do. I get it all the time. It's like, oh, you're always on my Facebook and commenting and whatnot. And we're thinking about selling a house. And I don't know. I don't talk about real estate though. It's weird. Not on their page. My page I do, not on theirs.
since we're talking about social media, I'm going to just jump over, if that's cool with you. I'll come back to you, Jeanine. I'm going to jump to Jany, because Jany is like a social media phenom. And I want to ask you about what you're doing to keep in touch with your sphere. And also, what have you learned with regards to social media in 2020 that is helping you plan for 2021?
So I love social media and I spend so much time on it, you know, learning about the algorithm, what's changing, what's coming out on Instagram, what's new on Facebook. And inevitably, because I'm always on it, I just like Jeanine, I connect with people that and it has nothing to do with real estate. It's just interaction on their lives. And it's really genuine interaction. It's kind of like sales without selling. Something else that I found very helpful on social media is giving these people value. So things that they might not even know that they need to know about, but they do. So I like to make videos about like, how much is it going to cost, you know, to do a kitchen remodel? What are 2 things you need to know when you're doing something like that? And it's usually related to something that I have experienced or that I'm going through. And I just want to share that knowledge with them. And I've gotten great feedback on that.
Do you keep a list or something, Jany? Like, do you keep a list of what videos you're going to do? Can you share a little more about how you do that? Because there's a lot of people that haven't seen your social and aren't doing this yet. Where are you when you get questions, you're like, oh, I've been getting this question a lot. Let me make a video. Is that essentially?
So I actually, it's really funny because a lot of people, they see my videos every day and they're like, do you even work? Like, how do you have time to do a video every day? But I don't. So I pick out one weekend out of the month and I try to reduce it to just like a Saturday or a Sunday. And I do content shooting for like 8-10 hours straight. So I have it all pre-recorded. Most of the times I already have the topics in mind, but sometimes, you know, I just add them later on. So I spend one Saturday, one Sunday, my office looks like a mess. There are clothes everywhere, you know, jewelry, everything. And I just shoot straight reels. I do regular, the IGTV videos. And then I also take like a good 2 hours after that to write down my content, my bullet points, so that it's easy and every day I can just get something out.
Love it. All right. By the way, I'm dropping your Instagram in the chat for anyone that wants to check it out. Let me do this. I want to go to Kevin too, because he's crushing it this year. Kevin, and by the way, I didn't introduce Jany properly, so sorry if we're just kind of jumping around more than usual, but I want to let I told you guys, trying to let as many people talk as possible. Jany's a $12-15 million at least producer last year, probably on track to do even more, and she's a social media phenom. She's also an attorney, which is really cool, being an agent and an attorney, especially so young. But Kevin is crushing it right now. And check this out. His team sold 107 units so far. They're over 38 million, and he is on track to net $1 million in GCI this year, which is pretty impressive for only being a few years in to building his team. So Kevin, what I want to ask you, aside from what you're focused on the rest of the year, because you're really good at sphere marketing, and I'll probably go back to a couple of you guys as well. Let me hear you outline what you're doing between now and the end of the year, or between now and the new year, to keep in touch with your sphere. And then if you could walk me through your sphere marketing plan for a year, like what do you actually do with your database? What are your plans for 2021? So what do you do in the next 43 days? What are your 2021 plans for keeping in touch with that list? And then Jany and Jeanine, I'd love to go to you as well.
So, so for us, my buyer's agent, Richard, who's absolutely amazing, he came up with this idea for the month of November. He said, let's do this thing called 5 weeks of giving. And at first we were just going to keep it within our sphere, and then we expanded it to the schools. Then we've expanded it to Lake Nona. And what started off as one prize, we're giving away, probably by the time the month is over, about $5,000 worth of prizes. Well, the only way you can sign up, you got to fill out the Google Doc form. You got to give us your contact information. And then you also got to check the box if you want information on buying a home, selling a home, or you just want to win a prize. And so we've been doing a lot of live videos through our Facebook feed. And as far as staying connected with our database, we bought a bay at Topgolf. We're one of those, you know, I know some people have the bays at Topgolf that we can send out an email every week. And then like today, I have to go to the bay to Topgolf to check in one of our customers. Last night it was used by one of our customers. And so, you know, it's just constant touching. It's the phone. You know, I tell all the new agents, I said, you know, there's no such thing as a ninja agent. Rich Carpentieri was on the Zoom earlier, and he said, Kevin, do you want to make money in real estate? And I said, yeah. He goes, do these 3 things and you're going to make money. Talk to people. And so you got to talk to people because no one knows you're a real estate agent. And for us, my wife and I, we just had a great conversation last night. When you come from contribution, Jeanine mentioned it really, really well. We don't always talk about real estate. We want to be a resource. We don't need Angie's list in Lake Nona. We have Kevin's list. We want people to call us and say, hey, I need a roof repair. I need a fence. I need a plumber. I need this. And then I've got all my allied resources that they're hopefully referring business back to us as well. So we're very ingrained. I mean, the real estate part has been amazing. If you would have told me we would do $40 million this year, I would have called you a liar, especially in April. But as COVID hit, we became a resource to people versus shoving real estate down each other's throat. Real quick, COVID happened. We're very community-based. That doesn't mean farming stops. We're big farmers. So guess what? We have a Christmas parade that's going to be going through Lake Nona. We got Santa Claus. We got the Grinch. We got, what's the little snowman from whatever that Frozen movie is? It's not Frodo. Olaf. So, and we're coming up with ways to do, instead of big farming community events, we're going to be doing like more micro, where we can get together 15 to 30 people, socially distanced, stay apart from there.
What do you mean by that, Kevin? Because we've nationwide, that's been a huge hit for real producers, is micro events. I know a lot of our partners have talked about it. I know Rusty's been doing it a lot, and Vic DeVore's been doing a lot of them. But what do you mean when you say micro events? What are some of the events you're doing? If I'm listening, I like the idea, but I'm not creative. What should I do?
So we would always do 2 big customer appreciation events a year. And then of course we'd invite our vendors. And I was really bummed we couldn't do those this year because of COVID. And so some of our micro events this year that we're going to do is, we're going to do a happy hour for our customers. But when we send out our email, keep piggybacking on Jeanine because she said so many good things, is, when we send out our weekly email to our customers, hey, we're going to have a happy hour at Bosphorus the 3rd Thursday of January, and the first 25 people that respond, you get to go, and we're going to buy the drinks and the appetizers, and we're going to do those little sip and wine, not sip and wine, but where you paint. I got the big picture and I can do the micro. I don't know all the terms, but we're just going to break it down. We have our Bay at Topgolf. I told my team the expectation is everyone on our team takes customers to Topgolf once a month, and that's Kevin taking people and my wife taking people and my buyer's agent. And we want to be able to get our customers out, and we want them to know that when it comes to people, the Kendrick team cares about you. And by the way, we love your referrals, and
Kevin, what are you spending on these events when you do 25? I heard big nugget that I heard right there was 25 people. So, right, like, so a lot of people listening to this are going, oh, 25 people, we're setting a limit. Maybe this is a lot more doable. Maybe some of you might even be 12, but, what are you spending? What's it costing you when you are capping at 25 people?
Majority of our events cost us very little. So my background, I used to be a principal in an elementary school, and I fundraised extremely well. And so I never believed that we should be paying for events and activities at the school when vendors wanted to come in and sell stuff to our parents and to our teachers. So I've got amazing vendors, and I ask for contributions.
Can I plug something real quick? Can I plug something with regards to that?
Sure.
Any of our vendor partners that are on this call and listening right now that are willing to help sponsor events for the agents on this call, that are willing to contribute for people's happy hours or lunches, go ahead and drop your info in the chat box right now. So again, we've got a handful of, and these are not just vendors. These aren't people that just jumped in. These are like the most referred. These are all referred by other top 500 agents. So they're all pretty legit. But if you're a vendor and you can hear me, just drop your info if you are willing to help sponsor stuff. And all these agents, I'll email this out after. Nikisha just dropped a link to our partner list. But anyone who is willing to sponsor things, or open at least to sponsoring things, drop your info and some agents might hit you up. Sorry, I just wanted to plug that real quick.
Yeah, and I think it's important. When I teach a class on farming, I always tell people, if you're going to host an event and your partners, your allied resources are not willing to contribute to the event, then you're the sucker in the relationship. And, ironically, we just had my birthday party, and at my birthday party, all of my allied resources were there because it's not that they're my title company, my lender, my insurance agent, my inspector. They're friends. They're part of the family. We even do an allied resource customer appreciation event for them, where that's the one event that we definitely pay everything for, because we want our allied resources to know that we love them. On that little Google Doc that I sent out for our November giveaway, it actually asked, do you want more information? Buying a home, selling a home, refinancing a home. Our lender's gotten over 15 referrals, or homeowners insurance. And our HOI guy has already received over 15 referrals. So we may not get business from the refinance. That's okay. But if my lender gets it and he's contributing to the growth of our company, then that's amazing.
Love it. Let's go to Jeanine or Jany. Either one of you. I'll go to Jany because she hit unmute first. Jany, what are you doing to keep in touch with your clients and your sphere? How do you keep in touch with them? And what are you doing? Events or keeping in touch, or what are you doing this time of the year?
So I'm still not very comfortable doing the events. So I'm limiting it again to my social media just because it's worked so well. You know, the primary, most of my customers are on either Instagram, Facebook, or Snapchat. So we all keep in touch there. The ones that are not, then I have the CRM and I do follow up with calls, emails, text, however I know that they like to be communicated with. Something that I wanted to mention, like in these last 45 days preparing for January, with the second COVID wave looming, a big topic is going to be educating the consumer on purchasing online without actually visiting the property. So that's content that I'm working on, just to take the fear out of it and to show buyers that it's safe to buy like that. I'm also working on a lot of collabs, so that's a great way to reach out to more people. So look at accounts that are larger on social media, connect with them, see how you can contribute to their customers, and send a message. Some will say no, others, you never know. You never know who will say yes.
What's that look like? Let me go a little bit deeper. How are you finding them? Who are you picking? What's the message? Give me an idea of what a message might sound like if you want to collaborate.
So we just did a remix of the Monster Mash. We did the closing math, and we did like a fun little video, and I sent it out to just about every big real estate broker that's on TV that you can think of for $1 Million Listing. And I find their team members and I send a message, hey, let's collab. I have X, Y, and Z as an idea. Would you be interested in doing that? I also look like a smaller brokers or like people who are very big on reels right now, the influencers, and I just send them a quick message. The message is never the same. It's just really depending on what their content is. But if you don't send it, they're never going to say anything.
Love it. And for people that aren't following her, she's talking about reels on social media. They're a type of new video that people really love, right?
Yeah, it's the best thing ever. It's Instagram's latest little tool. So they're trying to push out TikTok. So if you haven't gone on Reels, you need to, because it's going to get so much more engagement than your photos or your regular videos.
Love it.
It's crazy. And you don't even need to worry too much about the hashtags at this point with it. They're just pushing them out.
Love it.
It's fun to do.
Love it. Let's go to you, Jeanine. What are you doing to keep in touch with your sphere this time of year? What does your follow-up look like? And are you doing events, or are you doing something in and around here through the New Year's?
Yeah, actually, we just the past couple of weeks just boosted out an event, which I do for all of my past clients and all of my agents' past clients or current clients, and we have a pie giveaway. So basically, they have to reserve their pie, pick apple or pumpkin. And we debated about the whole COVID, worried about that, because this Saturday we're in the office from 10 to 2, and that's when they come pick up the pies. And we told them all they have to wear a mask. We'll have masks outside the office, and we'll have some hand sanitizer. And those people that didn't want to, we had some older people that didn't want to come. For those of my clients, I did tell them I'd just deliver the pie to them, just, out of courtesy. I told them go ahead and pick a pie anyway. But
just to be clear how that works, because you're giving them such a brilliant idea that some people have already heard, but the people who haven't heard it might have went a little bit over their head. So I want to make sure we spell it out. So what Jeanine's saying is that you reach out to all your database or your sphere, at least, whether it's, do you send it to your whole client list? Do you send it to just your sphere? Who do you pick? Who do you market to?
We only send it to past or current clients.
Okay, so
So,
past and current
yeah.
clients get a message. Is it email?
Through Eventbrite, yes.
Okay, so they get a message basically telling them that you're gonna buy them a pie, give them a pie for Thanksgiving, and all they've got to do is pick it up. Do they RSVP a flavor or anything like that?
Yeah, they have to definitely, they actually click on the Eventbrite and they pick a pie, either apple or pumpkin, and then we get the email and then a list saved in Eventbrite where it tells us who's coming and what pie they're getting.
And they all come to you, correct? They all come to pick up the pie?
Yes, they all come. I only have 3 older people that I'm delivering to. I don't generally deliver, but yeah. So because of COVID, I'll make that exception. I get it, you know what I mean, and I understand. Not everyone feels comfortable. And people. So what happens is we decorate the office for Thanksgiving. We
They all come to you. So you
they
don't
all
need to
come
buy
to-
a location. You don't need to host an event. There's not a giant group. Like your clients are just popping in, and you're not
And so
making
the
hundreds
be-
of calls.
Yep, and the best part is we have this thing on that's called whip us up a referral. I said, and we'll give you a can of free whipped cream. So we have a corner in the office that has cans of whipped cream, and then we have little sign-in sheets. So they'll say what agent they're there for and who the referral is. But I remember last year I had an older couple come in, and they were so serious that they had their referral written in their hand. They thought the referral was a ticket. And they walked in, they said, "We're here for our pie and I have a referral for you. He's coming up from Miami." And it was the cutest thing. So yeah, it's another way to get people to think about who might be looking to buy or sell. It works
I
really
love it.
well. Mhm.
I love it. All right, so they RSVP, they pick their pie, they tell you, you send out an email that tells them they can come in. I am going to give you guys a tool that a lot of you don't know about that is going to make this even easier. So emails are great, but one way to actually get a response from your top clients is to text them. How many of you guys, just quick show of hands, how many of you guys got a text reminding you about today's masterclass with a link to it so that nobody messaged me asking how to get on? Yeah, something I learned after doing a couple of these, that 27 people are going to ask me for a link. So I texted out first. How many of you guys are 3,535 winners? You probably got texts that coordinated the entire thing. So here's what I use. I'm going to put this link in the comments right now. I use a program called Texting Base. And Texting Base is a phenomenal text-based CRM. It sends out mass text to any list that you want. It allows for one-to-one communication. It sends it from a 10-digit local phone number. That's one of the biggest things. So it's not like you get a message from *792. You'll get a text message from a 10-digit 407 number. It's my number. It doesn't get shared with anyone else. It's my Texting Base number, to be clear. It's not my cell phone. And when you message back, it shows up to me. It shows up to my phone and it shows up online. So I can literally one-to-one. So if I blast all of you, but Mike responds to me, I can keep talking to Mike and no one else is getting it. I can send videos, pictures, you name it. It's pretty amazing. And one of the coolest things is I can put your names in it, just like an email. So if I want to text everybody, I can send a text that says, "Hey, Carrie, hey, Kevin, hey, Bill, hey, Tammy, hey, Scott." And it actually says it for each person. So I highly recommend Texting Base. It's there's a million ways to use it, but I can promise you that even if it's to remind the registrants on Eventbrite for something, it's going to change your effectiveness dramatically. If you're giving out pies and you text them a reminder, you're going to get 3, 4, 5, 6 more clients that come. I know when I text out the link, 25 people jump on the masterclass just by clicking the link. So Texting Base, I'm going to drop it one more time. That's our affiliate code in full discretion. So yes, I get a credit, but I also think you get some kind of credit if you sign up. If they let you, all right, one more thing. I'm pretty sure there's a coupon. Don't quote me on this. It's been a couple years. Pretty sure if you type in Real Producers somewhere, when they let you type in a coupon, you get like a month or two for free. So just figured I'd share that because honestly, it's pretty money. Let's go back. Hey, Sean, you got anything you want to share about clients keeping in touch with? I mean, I know you're a broker, but not acting agent, but is there anything you're doing to keep in touch with your agents, or is there anything that you recommend your agents do around this time of year?
So, I mean, obviously holiday cards are one of the biggest things that we started telling agents, you need to prep for that in October, basically get everything ready. When it comes, I mean, honestly, I feel like we spend a lot of time trying to keep up with our agents, and we definitely encourage them to make sure that they're keeping up with their customers.
I got a question for you, actually. Do you usually do a holiday party this time of year, correct, for your agents?
Or not? Yeah, that's the conversation.
Okay. Here's what I want to share with there's a point to this. everyone on this call, there are some of you that are not comfortable hosting an event live right now or can't do the event you usually host. Normally, as the gift guy, my biggest recommendation is not to give gifts around the holidays. I always tell people do not touch gifting around the holidays because it gets lost in the clutter. You don't want to be the 27th gift. You don't want to be the 37th Christmas card. I'm not saying you shouldn't send a card. I'm just saying it's not a good marketing touch. But here's what we are finding a lot of people doing. We're finding a lot of our clients are going above and beyond, and they're spending the money they would have put into an annual event, an employee event, a client event, on some kind of special gifting item, not a stupid gift they're going to consume, eat, drink, spend, anything, something that lasts long term, that can serve as a symbol of the relationship for a while. The same way that the memory of the party would last forever, the same way we put money into a big holiday party, we want them to remember. You don't want to be giving them a bottle of wine, a dinner out, flowers. You know, that's not what you want to do. But if you are looking to do something unique, something that will last, something they can continue to remember, this is the best time of year and the best year to be giving them. Normally, I pitch gifting in general every other time of the year, but I will share that, like, we're doing something right now. We're mailing all of our clients some really cool boxes with like our logo on some things, their logos on some things. There's like a couple items in the box. It's really personalized, and it's super cool. It's drop shipped to each of them. So just an idea. A lot of you could put that money you're putting into events into something special for your people. So, sorry, Sean, you were, what were you saying you recommend that your agents do?
On that note too, I feel like it does, whatever that gift is, it maybe shouldn't be branded at all. Like if it's something
sure,
really
it should have their stuff. That's the point. Like I'm putting stuff with like if you get a gift from me, Sean, it's going to say Sean. You know, it's going to say, and it doesn't mean that nothing is. If I have 3 items, I may have a real producer item, mainframe item, and something with your name on it. But the idea is it's going to be special. It's not going to be like cheap crap, stupid swag. Like it's not something you're going to be like, thanks for promotion. It's going to be something that people feel appreciated by. So just a thought. Let's jump around. Kevin, let's go back to you. I want to hear about what you're doing to plan. Actually, let's do this. Let's go out. Let's go to the horn. Let's go around the horn. Who here, and this could be any of the speakers or panelists, anyone here, who has a focus. I want to hear what you're doing, either A, what you're focused on for the last 43 days of the year, and B, what you are doing to keep in touch and show appreciation to your sphere around New Year. So basically what I'm really asking, I'll say that a little less wordy. How are you showing your clients you love them between now and New Year's, given some of the limitations? And what are you doing and focusing on the last 43 days? Who wants to share?
Well, I kind of already shared, Aaron, but can I share my screen just to show a few things? So I think I'm doing this correctly. So for people that don't want to do community events, you know, you don't want to get people together. So I'm just going to share a few pictures. My wife and I, we did a drive-by grab and go Dunkin' Donuts for all the teachers in Lake Nona. So that's 5 elementary schools, 100+ donuts. And then the cool part about it is they got a bingo card, and we played virtual bingo with all the teachers in Lake Nona on Cinco de Mayo. So you better believe it was a happy hour Cinco de Mayo. And so that was a way for us to engage with our community. And then another way to engage is to partner with your local businesses and promote them. We had a brand new Chick-fil-A open up in Lake Nona, and she gave me 100 free chicken sandwich gift cards to give away to people in the community, which we raffled off on one of our local business community pages.
What's that combo look like, Kevin?
I'm sorry?
What's that combo look like? You stop in, like, who do you ask for? What are you saying?
What do you mean, my combo?
Like, to actually get them to give you that, like, what's the conversation look like?
I just, you know, we run a Facebook page in Lake Nona that has about 12,000 members, community members. I don't promote my business on that page. And so like when Holly opened up her Chick-fil-A, I reached out to her. I said, Holly, I run the largest community-based Facebook page in Lake Nona, and we'd love to partner with you. And she did. And some businesses don't, but there's businesses, almost every single prize that we've given away in our 5 weeks of giving. And like I said, we're giving away almost $5,000 are all businesses that we partner with. Kissleback Ford.
Kevin, if you didn't run the Facebook group, how would you word it?
I would still word to them. I'd say, hey, my wife and I, we run a top producing real estate company in the Lake Nona area. Our passion is people, and we want to engage with people. And what we would like to do is we'd like to help promote your business. And in return, we'd like to have something maybe to give away so that as people are watching the video, like I just interviewed Holly last week that got over 2,000 views about opening up the Chick-fil-A. So it's, you know, today, as soon as I leave here, I'm going to interview Nona Soccer Academy because we're getting ready to have the Nona Cup, and 7,000 families are, you know, coming to Lake Nona this weekend for soccer, youth soccer. So I interview a lot of businesses.
Whatever's happening, basically, and trying to find opportunities to promote it, collaborate, give stuff away, push to your database, and push to your Facebook community.
Yep, I'm a community resource that just happens to sell a lot of homes, and I'm always wearing my Kendrick Team Real Estate shirt, and you know, with my Keller Williams, and you know, and that's what we want to be. We just want to be the community resource, and it's a blessing when people will call us up and say, "Hey, what's going on? What are they building next to the Publix between the new Pulte community and the Publix? Is it apartments or is it a strip mall?" And you know, a lot of times if we don't know the answer, we're going to find out. We just want to be the resource.
Love it. Let's go a different direction. What are your biggest focuses for the last 43 days? Aside from customer follow-up, what are you doing and what are you telling your team to focus on to make sure that you're getting momentum?
So I know this may sound bad, but we're preparing for the short sales that are potentially coming. And so we want our database and our customers to know that we're a resource for, you know, if they have friends or families that have fallen upon hard times, it's better for them to sell now versus going into a short sale or potential foreclosure process. So,
so you know, you're starting to call people, and is it also going into your marketing plans, emails or direct mail? Like, is it something you're
not into email? These are personal conversations. You know, I'm not going to send Sean an email or a Facebook message or anything saying, "Hey, if you know anyone who lost their job or they're struggling financially, we can help them sell their home." That's a personal phone call that we want to have because, you know, Sean may or may not know somebody, but we want them to know that we're a resource for them. And if I have a relationship with Sean, then he's going to say, you know, "Hey, Kevin, you know, my friend Steve Bell, he's fallen upon hard times. He's lost his job. And I really need to connect the two of you because I think he should cash out now."
Got it. One thing I'll share is that if you are telling stories in your marketing, there probably is a middle ground where you could tell the story of somebody that was facing a hard time or a hard challenge and you were able to help them. And if you know anyone else that we might be able to help, like blank, you know, let us know. It's probably right in between, but you're right. There's probably a better way to tell it. Jeanine, what about you? What are you focusing on and telling your team to focus on the last 35 days, 30, 40, whatever days? You guys get the point.
Sorry about that. Yeah, just keeping up on your database, keeping up, you know, don't slack during the holidays. Like I said earlier, just make sure that you're, like you said, you have to talk to people, you have to reach out to them no matter which way it is, just that. And then also, I agree with Kevin about the videos. I mean, the videos are wonderful. And even Jany said that about the Instagram Reels. I mean, they are fabulous, you know, just putting information out there for people. You know, so just keep on keeping on. Don't slack.
So if you're right now an agent and you haven't been like if you're trying to ramp up and get momentum, even if you're at 0 right now, you could start pumping out today quality videos. You could even start building your group or engaging in a group that already exists, pumping them out today. And if you did it for the next 43 days, not necessarily every day because you may get annoying, but like if you consistently did it now through next year, come a few weeks into the new year, after New Year's is settled and people are back to like working and whatnot, you could already have the traction you're looking for and the people that know you, that recognize you, that engage with you, that are noticing you. And that could start to just give you the momentum you need to take things to the next level. Let's go around the horn a little bit. I want to hear who else has something that you're doing to kick off 2021. Like, what are you doing right now? What are you focusing on to close this year out? And what are you focusing on doing to kick next year off properly? Who wants to speak? Vendors or agents, anyone that wants to share something that's valuable for the rest of the group. What are you focusing on, telling your team to focus on, and what are you doing differently? Just raise your hand in front of your microphone or in front of your camera. And I'll go.
Really
quick, Jany, go for it.
Just to piggyback off of what Kevin was talking about with the short sales, I think that that's a fantastic idea, right? Because we're preparing to educate the consumer as to what's going to come. And I think a great way for anyone who's on TikTok, you know, Instagram, is Reels, because it's not directed at anyone, so you're not going to offend anyone, and it is such a sensitive topic. But like I've done videos on foreclosure, short sales, and the response that I've gotten from people I don't even know, it's crazy. So I think it's a really great way for, for you to start shooting, a really great thing to start shooting those videos now and start putting them out and just educating, because you never know who is watching. I also had someone, I was talking about like HOA foreclosures and how they have the power to do that in Florida. I had 3 people reach out to me say, I can't believe that they can do that. I'm going to get my butt over there now because I haven't paid my HOAs. So great topic on short sales. Use Reels, guys.
Love it. Hey, Rick, can you hear me right now? Because I would love to hear what you're doing. You're killing it too. And honestly, I would have had you on the panel if you and Kevin weren't neck and neck and in the exact same office, the same brokerage. So just for balance, that's not why you're on this panel. But let's hear from you, man. You're doing killer stuff in your office. Actually, real quick, share with people how your year's going, like what you guys are on track for, and then share with us what you're focusing on and telling your team to focus on the last 40 days.
Yeah, so I think we've doubled production this year from last year. Our goal was 36 million, and we'll hit close to 50. We are a little over 1.3 million in GCI. And I feel like, it's been a team effort. I grew my team this year. Wasn't something I had even thought about doing, but, I don't ever look for agents. I look for talent. And we just had talent that came through the door that really has just stepped up. And, we definitely have focused right after March. A lot of people kind of went in a hole, and we found other ways to do virtual open houses. We were doing very much like Jany, major social media, putting our brand out there so far as, getting in front of the right people. I admire Kevin tremendously and have learned a lot about the community side, and something that we've started doing is giving back to our heroes. And we focused, became an affiliate member to Homes for Heroes and giving back to our teachers. And so we've started hitting a lot of the brick and mortar police departments, fire departments, schools, primarily within our farming area. And with this, we've, really been giving back percentages of our commission. But it's not about the money. It's about helping people that right now with the situation are less fortunate or struggling and still want to have that dream home or that opportunity to own a home. So, but I couldn't have done it without my team. And we're sitting right now at 11 agents and 3 admins.
So what are your biggest focuses? Like, what are you telling your team to make sure they get done in the next 43 days?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's kind of what everybody's been talking about. We continue to touch our database, reaching out. We are doing that pie giveaway. I've been getting some pushback, because of the COVID. So we're trying to figure out other alternatives, whether it be, maybe sending out a gift card, thanking them for what they've done for us. But really, it is just about touching the database. Christmas cards obviously going to go out next week. We want to try to get in front of the holiday cards that end up hitting everybody. But definitely staying on top of our database.
Love it. Thank you, Rick. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a quick breakout, just literally 5-10 minutes. I'm going to throw you guys into this, let you guys all share, and then we'll come back and just hear the best ideas. So here's a question I want you to just jot down. You're going to want to take your pen and jot this down, because otherwise you won't see it in a second. In a second, you're going to get a button on your screen. So if your camera's not on, you might want to turn it on now. You're going to get a button in just a second, and you're going to have to hit join. If you don't hit join, you're going to get sent back to the wait room. You're going to wonder what's going on. If anyone has a problem, like your room has a weirdo, your room has nobody in it, or you are in it with 7 people that are also the same type of vendor, then just come back, exit, come back to the lobby, and I'll send you into a new breakout. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to let you meet 3, 4, 5 people from this group, and each of you just take a minute or two. If you talk for more than 2 minutes, you're talking for too long. But a minute or two, what are you focused on the last 45 days? So that's the first question. What are you focused on the last 45 days? As well as, how are you keeping in touch with your sphere and your clients between now and New Year's? And the third question, if you get to it or want to answer it or don't want the other questions, what have you learned in 2020 that you're going to continue in 2021 or implement in 2021? So 3 questions again, or how are you keeping in touch with your sphere? What have you learned that you're going to continue or implement in 2021? And what was the other question? Someone drop it in the chat box. I know you got it, Heather. You're muted though.
Yeah.
Say it, Heather. What was it?
Focus the last 43 days. What are you focusing on?
Focus on the last 43 days. Brain injury will do that to you. So, all right, I'm going to hit this. And if you get stuck in a weird breakout, come back in. You're going to literally only have, I don't know, 6 to 8 minutes, but I'm going to send you in now. If everyone could just stretch your hands in front of the camera, go like this, and it will hit you an invite. You'll get to jump into a breakout, introduce yourself, and then answer those questions. Have fun. See you guys in a second. Make sure you hit join. I'm going to send you in, and we want to hear from you on what you are doing and focusing on the last 45 days of the year. So if you are still hearing me, it's because you haven't hit the join button. There is a button somewhere on your screen that says join. Anyone seeing it? All right, I'm moving some of you real quick. Move you guys around. Give me a second. I'll try to move more of you. All right. So who is still stuck here and doesn't have a join button? If you don't have a join button on your screen, raise your hand. All right, Steve Bell, let me find you. Steve, all right, let me move you. Octavian, let me move him real quick. Steve, you are getting invited to room 4 right now. You should have a button on your screen. Do you see it? Nope. Steve, do you see a button yet? Here you go. I'm sending you a new one. You should have an invite to room 8. Has it popped up?
No.
Do you have anything in front of your Zoom right now?
No, I've just got my Zoom up. Weird.
All
I
right.
had one before I left, but there was nobody in there. So
how about now?
Still not.
Just sent you a new invite. That's so weird. I'm not sure.
You didn't want me
Maybe. Hold on. Let me actually try something. Let me fix. I think I know what to do. Allow. Remove participants to rejoin. Okay. Try now. Hold on. Let me send you one now, I should say. Nothing?
Mm-mm.
All right, Steve, let's hear what are you focusing on the last 45 days?
Dude, I'm focused on the basics.
You're gonna be on the video anyway. Anyone that
Okay.
watches this recap is
Yeah.
gonna be staring here. And if you're staring at this recap, Steve's gonna share some good stuff, but you can also jump ahead in a minute if you're not getting anything out of this.
Hey, me personally, Aaron, I'm just focusing on the basics. I'm actually going back to step 1, which is I use kind of a daily journal that I bookend my day. I start in the morning and I write what my goals are, what my plans are, the things I've been reading. And at the end of the day, I kind of assess what I've done for the day, and it helps me stay on track. And I'm really going back to the basics, just kind of focus, kind of laser focus going forward into 2021, just kind of a renewed energy. Just, yeah, sometimes you got to go back to the basics, just make sure you're doing right so your foundation's good. So
love it. What do you
Yep.
think most people aren't doing that they should be doing?
Gosh, good question. I think people get so busy doing things that are busy work. They're busy. They want to stay busy instead of being focused. They think they have to stay busy and it makes them successful. I don't think that's true. I think you just need to focus on a few key things and do those.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, hold on one second. I'm gonna send a message to everybody in the group. Make sure everyone speaks. What's your biggest, and what are you doing to keep in touch with your all right, 5 more minutes. All right, Nikisha, don't let this random person into anything. That DASDAW, like that random, I don't know what that is. It might be somebody. Actually, let's just do it. Let's let them into here. Let's see if it's spam or if it's a porn bot or something. Well, those of you watching the recording, we're about to find out. Hey, DASDAW, are you a person? No, it probably is a porn bot or something. Remove. All right, that was interesting. Luckily, it didn't get too interesting. But
yeah.
Since you're going to be on the recording, actually, let me just try one more time if I can send you into a room. How about now?
Me? No.
Yep. Nothing.
Nothing.
How about now? Nothing, Steve.
Nothing yet. Nope. It's all good.
It doesn't like you, man.
Today, yeah.
What would you share with anyone watching this call?
Yeah.
That they should be doing to prepare for 2021 tax-wise, not just like doing their tax, but like what should they be doing? Should they be meeting with someone? Should they be creating a new plan? Should they be structuring different? Should they be auditing it? What are like maybe 3 or 4 things they should focus on?
They should, if they don't have a CPA or a good accountant, they need to, well, everybody thinks they have a good accountant until they find out they don't. They need to just look, they need to make sure they're, have a review from their accountant every year. Look at, do you have a structure? For some people, it's not important. They're not making enough money, but those that do, it's going to save them, that are making enough. It's going to save them a ton of money. You just need to, they really need to speak to someone. The way we work is we're not going to push something on it that makes sense. If you're making $40,000 a year in real estate, you don't need an LLC. You just need to do a personal return. But once you get to a 50 or so thousand a year, then yeah, you're going to save money by having a structure set up. So those are things they need to. They just need to have a review. And as someone that's good is going to work around the edges of the tax code to make sure they're not paying too much. We don't do anything that's illegal, but we're certainly going to go and use every inch of the tax law to help our clients. That's just only makes sense. So, that's what we try and do.
Love it. Love it, man. All right, 1 more minute. Make sure everyone speaks. If you're already done, share one of your best tips for keeping in tips or tools. Boom. All right. The texting based thing was kind of fun. I should get that out way more often. I don't know why I don't talk about it more often. Everyone should use texting base. I've probably gotten a few thousand people onto texting base, and I think like 4 of them have used my affiliate code.
Wow.
I've never made it a big deal, but all Cutco uses it. All of Real Producers uses it. It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty cool. One thing also, Aaron, like when you were talking about texting base is like when you do Eventbrite events and then you make it so that people have to give their cell phone number when they register. And then that way you can keep in touch with them about the event through texting base once you have like their cell phone number.
All right, that's what's up. That's one of the, I should share that. All right, I'm gonna bring them back. Close all the rooms. They're gonna be back in 60 seconds. They're gonna all start popping in a second. Thanks, Steve. Oh, Steve, how do people get in touch with you if they're watching this?
They can reach me at steve.bell@hbitax.com or www.hbitax.com or my number 863-968-1010. And my cell, I don't give it every 863-978-7553.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, everyone should start coming back now. It's 24 more seconds. I probably should have messaged that. I should have broadcast the message that said these rooms are closing now. You can join us. It'll close automatically in 60 seconds, but I forgot to. So in about 13 seconds, everyone's going to get kicked back into this room. And then we're going to just go around the horn and hear from you guys. So those of you that can hear me right now, we want to hear what you got out of the breakout, what you learned or what you shared, just what you learned or what you shared. We want to just get some ideas and some nuggets from the people around this call. So everyone should be jumping back in right now. You should be getting thrown back in welcome, welcome. Hopefully you had fun in your breakout. Sorry if that cut you off while you were speaking. I know some people had to run because we run past 11, but I want to go around the horn and hear what big strategy did you either hear, learn, or share? Let's just go around the horn and let's document some of the wisdom of this group. Who wants to share? Who's got something? Or I'm gonna start calling on people. All right, Ellen, let's hear what you got to say.
So I talked about using my CRM. I do smart drip campaigns, and within that, I have insights to show that if they favorited a property, I can go back to them and text message or email them to say, hey, did you see this property that came across today that maybe I thought you'd be interested in, taking a look at? And so I'm not trying to be creepy or anything, but just to touch them.
Love it. Who else has something to share? I'm going to go around the horn or just start calling people otherwise. Yeah, but you got a big smile on, man. What did you get out of your group? What are you either doing or what did you learn from your breakout?
Aaron, I had a big smile because I had a feeling you were about to do that. So I was just putting my show face on. All right. One of the things that I shared, we were talking about gifts or cards or events and stuff like that. So in the next 45 days, how are you going to engage with your past sphere or your current sphere? One of the things that I'm doing, for anyone who knows me, I love to cook. In a former life, I was a chef, and I'm always posting about food. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm actually gathering all of my buyers and sellers from past transactions and having them contribute to a collaborative cookbook that I'm doing that's called From Our Homes to Yours. So a great way to re-engage with past clients, you stay on top of mind, and it's something physical that they can actually touch, it's tangible. That's great. The other thing I'm doing is it's all about mindset. So I'm doing lots of audiobooks. That alone has transformed my business in the past month alone. These are obviously the most difficult months of the year. And I'm actually seeing more business in these months than I have in most other months. So it's all about mindset, just keeping yourself energized, amped up, and ready to go and ready to kick off 2021 and keep that momentum going into 2021.
Love it. Who else? Last 43 days, what are you doing? Just give me one or two things. What are you focused on? What are you doing? Vendors or agents? Jack, is that you raising your hand? That's kind of right. What are you doing?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. What are you doing last 43 days?
Follow up, Aaron. That's my biggest thing. It's just reaching out and touching everybody and following up to get to the closing table quicker at the end of the year, and touching everybody and taking advantage of social media now because everybody's on it. So follow up's my biggest thing.
Love it. Hey Brian, can you hear me? Can I go to you, man?
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah, no. So something that I shared that I really like is sending, obviously doing the whole card bit and everything, but I was talking to them. One of the what I like is Bomb, and what I like about it is that it kind of tracks what emails you sent out, and it tracks when they've opened them. So I was telling them, if you send out a net sheet, 3 months ago, and then all of a sudden you see, you get a notification on your screen, someone opened that email, and you're like, oh, hang on a second. All right. And then everyone thinks like, oh, I don't want to reach out to them just yet. That's creepy. They just opened the email and then you're calling. And I tell them, I said, people are used to being stalked and have all their information stolen on Facebook. You look at a handbag on Facebook, or even your girlfriend, looks at something online, and then you're getting fed with all that information for the next 3 months. So you should call them right away and reach out to them like within a half an hour. And, they don't even think anything of it anymore. They're not thinking like, what is he stalking me or anything? Like, I mean, that's one of the biggest things is being almost like too like over responsive to things, like, because people are just used to that now. It's not like a weird thing for people to, open up that email and then they get a call half an hour later, or even 10 minutes later about, hey, what's going on, or any kind of reach out. So
love it. So if you missed that, that's Bomb. That's the video email marketing service. They have an app that syncs with Bomb. They do an amazing job. They have an app on your phone that will literally give you push notifications whenever someone opens it. So if you really wanted to blast out your database and actually call people the second they open it, you can. In fact, when I was selling closing gifts, I'm gonna let a cat out of the bag. I used to send out a sales email on a Monday, and I'd send out a sales email, and literally I would turn on the app and I would sit at my phone, and the second that Rick opened the email, I would click a button, it would pull up Rick's profile, I'd click another button, it would dial Rick's number, and I'd be like, hey Rick, what's going on? It's Aaron from Cutco Closing Gifts. And he would be like, oh my God, that's crazy. I'm looking at your email right now. And I'd say, wow, that's really cool. How are you doing? Like any closing gifts you need, you get the idea. And I would sell to people not just that we're warm and interested, but also that we're literally looking at the stuff I needed them to look at right now. Normally it's like they can't see the stuff. So as an agent, if they just opened a link, if they just opened a resource, whatever, you can catch them literally while they're looking. The other thing about BombBomb is it has a part of the system that can track emails when they're opened. So you can see whenever they're open. So I have a ticker over my email, and I can see whenever an email is open, old or new. So let's just say you sent a client a proposal, let's just say, or I don't know, let's say you sent a client an offer 3 months ago and they haven't responded ever. And all of a sudden they clicked on your email 2 minutes ago. You now know so-and-so is reconsidering or looking at it. So for example, with Real Producers, I'll have someone that I email options to that I hear nothing from, or maybe it doesn't go where it needs to. And all of a sudden I see Steve Bell's opening the email with pricing and options. That's funny. So I may call Steve and say, hey, Steve, what's going on? How have you been? And Steve's like, oh, that's funny. I was just thinking about you and revisiting things. So we can tell when people are doing it. So that's BombBomb video email. Thank you, Brian. That's super helpful.
Well, one more thing too.
Go ahead.
One more thing that's great about BombBomb as well is with Jany, I think she was saying how she pre-records a lot of her stuff, which is what I was doing over coronavirus. When we were all under quarantine, I was pre-recording a lot of stuff as well. You can, at the beginning of the month, what I do is I write handwritten cards for my clients. Everyone's like, well, how do you have the time to do that? I write them at the beginning of the month. I put a little sticky note on when it needs to go out. That day, I take it and I put it in the mailbox. But also with BombBomb is you can record a birthday message to them. So now they have a video message with you, not like a happy birthday generic, this gets sent to everybody. You can say, hey Aaron, happy birthday, man. How's it going? I hope you had a great one. Talk to you soon. Bye. And then you record that, and you can record all of those for the month ahead of time. And then they go automatically out on their birthday. So.
Love it. Love it. One other system I'm going to share while we're at it is, I'm going to just drop it in the chat box, is AM cards. Hold on. I'll even share my link to that one here. We had Curtis speak on the first call that Wayne was on a few months back, but Curtis Lucy runs a company called amcards.com. It's mobile to mailbox in a few seconds from a website or your phone. You can send a card and it's automated. It's kind of like send out cards, but here's the two things that make it way better. Number one is it's super user friendly and easy to do from your phone. You can customize it with photos of you or the person, but here's why it's different. It is stamped and printed in Lake Mary. So we are lucky because send out cards are stamped from like Utah or something. So if you want to do an automated message that literally looks like it came from here, you should check out amcards.com/Orlando branding. And you definitely are going to want to check it out. By the way, for those of you that are still on here, here's what I should have asked a long time ago that I didn't, but you're going to benefit from. If you're an agent who would love to have a list of people willing to sponsor events or open to sponsoring events, just drop your name, your company, and your email in the chat box. So if you're an agent and you want to find some more vendors who are willing to support the events you do for your database and your community, just drop your name, your company, and your email in the chat box. I will get it out to our partners and have some of them reach out, or I will get you a list of people. So one more time, drop it in the chat box if you're an agent. I probably should have done that way. Name, company, and email. Please make sure you put your email. So Tammy, I got yours. Thank you. But make sure you put your email or we'll forget. Yeah, drop your name and your email, and you guys will probably get the, there's only 36 of you, so you'll probably get the offers from our partners that are best. So, all right, let's go around the horn. What are you focused on to close out the year? I want to hear from everyone, not just agents, but our partners. Like, how are you finishing strong? Mauricio, how are you finishing strong?
Hey, I was just thinking about what you said about the BombBomb videos. It's actually really funny because I use BombBomb for text message videos, but I also use HubSpot as well, and I download it on my phone too because the same thing happens. Whenever you get an email opened up, you'll get the the text message really quick, and it'll tell you exactly who opens the email. So I follow the same process. As soon as I see, oh, Aaron just opened an email. Hey, Aaron, what's going on, man? How you doing? And it's like you said, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, that's crazy. I was just checking out your email. So really having a CRM that kind of, can track the emails and, track your open rates and see what they're doing, I think helps a lot. So my main focus is really just on the follow-up because we all know the money's in the follow-up. So.
Absolutely. Hey, two other tools I'll give you guys that you're on here, and some of you guys already know this, but if you go into Gmail extensions, all of you should have Boomerang. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should definitely get Boomerang. It allows you to set a message to resend back to your inbox. So for example, if you don't want to touch it right now, you can say, have this send to me in 4 days. Like, you want it back in your inbox. You don't want to deal with it now. You can also set in Gmail undo send button with a timer. If you don't have that, you're really missing out. I've got a 30-second undo button. It comes in handy all the time. It's in your Gmail settings. All you got to do is go into settings and change it. It's an undo button. It's when you send an email and you go, oh shit, I screwed this up, or I shouldn't have sent that, or I should have sent this a lot more level-headed. You have an undo button that undoes the send. Sometimes I'll realize I forgot to attach the attachment. Undo. It undoes the email, it pulls it back, and you get to send it again. Nobody gets anything wrong. If you guys like that, just give me like a clap in front of the camera. So there's an undo, there's the boomerang. Boomerang can also have series that automatically send if they don't respond. So for example, if I send, I don't know, a document to Steve that I need him to sign, I can automatically have it sent back to him every 3 days that he doesn't sign it. You know, that's a really simple thing as well. So that's another part of the Gmail extensions. Again, these are simple, but they're like, they'll save you hundreds of hours and lots of time. If you want some strategies for how to save time managing your email, since I'm already talking about it, I have a recommendation for you. In fact, I'll drop it in the box. He's one of my former coaches. His name is Ari Meisel. He wrote a whole bunch of books. What's the most recent one called? I'm trying to look for a copy of it. Anyway, he wrote a whole bunch of books. Ari Meisel, you can look in the chat box. He wrote a book called Less Doing, More Living, and The Replaceable Founder. That's the name of the book. He teaches people how to streamline their systems and be a lot simpler and a lot more efficient, and how to automate, optimize, and outsource everything in their life. So Ari Meisel, you can even find him on Medium. He writes like very detailed explanations of all of this stuff. Since I see him on now, without further ado, I want to let one of our sponsors take a minute and just introduce himself real quick. I want to put in a good word for him so he doesn't need to say a lot. Octavian Cantillion with Real Estate Imaging Pros runs an amazing studio, state of the art. He spent all year building it like perfectly, not just like rented a warehouse and did it. He's got the lighting perfect. He's got the colors perfect. He's got the technology perfect. Like we're talking perfect. If you want someone that's going to be OCD about your photos more than you will, you definitely need to connect with Octavian. I want to go around the horn and let a few of you speak, but since you didn't get to share anything, this is on replay. Octavian, can you take like 30 seconds? Just tell people who you are and what you do.
Sure, Aaron. Thanks for having me. Sorry I couldn't be here earlier. You know, I got little kids at home, and so, you know, they're dangerous. Let's just say, but everything's good. So yeah. Hi. I'm coming to you from my new Delaney Park studio, and as an owner of a real estate photography company, I feel like I share the same challenge that most of you do, which is how do you stand out in the crowd? So our philosophy is to take a no compromise approach to our work and build partnerships with both our clients and other companies who specialize in their respective fields. So here's an example of a standard walkthrough video that we did for Miranda Ernest and our partner Systematic Home Staging. In this age of COVID and everything going virtual, we do all three major forms of VR. We are Matterport's only corporate client here in Orlando. For iGuide, we do their premium processing on every single listing. And then for Zillow, we also do a floor plan for every single listing. So yeah, and then on top of that, I just want to end it with, I pride myself on creating unique experiences for both my clients, and I hope this 60 seconds stands out. And if you value this presentation,
I've ever seen. The lighting, how do you guys think that looks awesome? Just give a little clap in front of the camera. That was really cool. Sorry,
yeah. So I got Jesus over here. You can't see him; he's off camera, but like he's the magician behind all this, and so it's all custom. And if you guys want some kind of custom presentation, we can absolutely kill it for you.
Real estate show? Could someone do a show?
We can totally, yeah, we can do live. You see all that stuff that you just saw is live. We can recording it is easy, and playing it back later, that's easy. But doing all this stuff live, that's a little more challenging.
Octavian, can you drop your info in the chat box, but also say it for the people that are just watching a video?
Sure, yeah. So yeah, it's info@realestateimagingpros.com or 407-720-1352.
Love it.
We'll put it in the chat box.
Octavian, thank you for sponsoring today.
Thanks for
Sorry
having
to
me.
cut you kind of short, but thank you. Let's go around the horn now. I want to get like 3 more people's responses. What are you doing to close out the year strong or to keep in touch with your sphere? Who's doing something? Raise your hand in front of the camera. I'll call on you, or I'm just going to start calling on people. Tatiana, this is what you do for a living. So let's hear what you're doing and what you're teaching your clients to do over at Advantage 80/20. Sorry, let's try that again. You're muted again. She's at Advantage 80/20. They handle people's database marketing. All you got to do is unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah, we're actually just really practicing what we preach and spending the next, 40 something days putting together our own, continuing our own 36 to convert, which is really just a strategic way of communicating and connecting with the right people in the right way, in the right timing. And that way, having that framework allows people like me who are much more creative to, have the freedom and like the organic energy to hype the rest of it up. So putting the pieces into place, leveraging what we need to, and then having fun with it is the big thing.
Love it. Any tips for agents? Any other tips of what they might not be doing that they should be doing, or what they might be doing, but you have a way to do it better?
Yeah. So reconnect calls are a big one. I actually just talked to an agent yesterday, big agent, and he was feeling a little discouraged. I said, start here. Free flow, write out a list of the top people who are cheering you on at all times. Start with your family and go out from there. And then put it together, a schedule. I have one. If you want it, you can always email me for an actual schedule of going through those people. And then use about 4 steps to really make those conversations feel really organic. And so you're expanding your sphere, you're deepening it, you're building rapport, giving value, allowing them to trust you, and then you focus on the closing aspect of it. But just keeping it relationship.
Again, what do you say?
What's that?
Walk us through what you say again.
Yeah, so I always say you're closing to the next step. So you're starting with rapport. If you don't know the person, get to know them. Like someone else was saying, talk about food, family, fun, and then you're going to provide value. And then you're having them trust you. And then the next step, then you're talking business, because now they like you, they trust you, they see your worth and your value.
Real quick, tell people what you guys do, like in 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, so we put together the logistical and creative elements to give you a 36 to convert campaign, which is, like I said, just connecting with the right people in the right way and at the right timing. So
36 touches correctly to your database and sphere. They will actually handle the touches. So if you don't have something in place, you should reach out to them. Tatiana, can you drop your info in the chat box? Also, just say it real quick since you're unmuted.
Yeah, so it all starts with talking with one of us, a discovery session. It's about an hour. It's almost like a really fun first date.
Let me rephrase. Where do they go? Or how do they contact you? What's the website or the email?
Tatiana at our advantage8020.com. And I'll put that.
And can you spell Tatiana just to make sure everyone has it?
Yeah, TATIANA at advantage8020 with the numbers.com.
Love it. And they do an amazing job. She is here locally in the States, but her company is based over in London. And so you may have seen Craig earlier. He spoke in the very beginning. You may have seen Kim jump on and on. She's been on a bunch of these. But literally, I flew out to London to get them on board. And they do an amazing job. So definitely reach out to them. Thank you so much. Let's go around the horn. Let's get 1 or 2 more people. Actually, one other person I want to hear from, Zach, if you got a second, what are you doing to close the year? Obviously, you're in open enrollment with health insurance. How are you managing following up with all the people? Because you're in like an interesting business where it's like you have a small window to reach out to everybody. What are you doing to manage all the business and manage all the people and keep in touch?
Yeah, great question. Hey, everybody. Yeah, if you guys don't know me, I'm Zach Young, and I primarily do health insurance for realtors. I actually used to be the head of marketing for Preferred. And so, marketing and, social media, all that stuff comes pretty natural to me for the most part after that job and everything else. So basically, just to, give you a heads up, what I do first off is quantity. Like Aaron said, we're kind of in a tight knit period where open enrollment is here. So it's between now and December 15th. So just really hit quantity. But if I'm being honest with you guys, what I really figure out is what is the niche audience. Obviously, a lot of my clientele are realtors, but I also have a lot of like travel nurses, truck drivers, all these other self-employed people. And really what I try to do is just try to figure out how can I create collaborative content that is also valuable to that niche, right? So things that those people care about, but also collaborate with the people that are actually influencers in that niche, because you can make all the content in the world for valuable things, but unfortunately, if it doesn't distribute to the right people, it can kind of fall on deaf ears, right? It won't be necessarily valuable to everybody. So of course, yeah, I try to figure out where as I can, create value and provide information for those people, but at the end of the day, collaborate with people that are in the niche that are, like I said, valuable information to them, not just to yourself in your own sphere. That would be what I would say.
Keep in touch with your sphere, Zach. Like, what do you use a CRM? Do you have a database that you use? And how do you prioritize your stuff? Like, do you have any system for how they prioritize who they follow up with?
Yeah, so I have a few different CRMs, I'll be honest, just for different uses and different things. I think a big thing I personally love is Monday.com. If you guys haven't already heard of that, it's huge because basically it's more than just CRM. You can program it to be also project management. So if you have a team, you can say, hey guys, we're in this pipeline, they're in this stage, and we need certain either virtual assistants, we need certain admins or certain people to follow up with them and do certain things, right? So it helps the process go along very quickly and everybody be on the same page. The other thing, of course, I actually have is a customized if you guys are already ready, if you guys want to take your business to the next level, I recommend HubSpot. I know it's not like a real estate CRM, but it's completely programmable. So at a certain point, once your business starts getting customized and it just becomes its own entity, it's definitely something to look into. And that's what I do for a lot of my things because it automates emails, follow-ups, calendar appointments, and it runs basically the majority of the business. That plus Monday.com is just like everything is all just really smooth. You can pretty much run the whole thing from the Monday. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right, let's go around the horn. Who else has a tool, a trick, or a system to share? Let's just hear the goods. There's only so many of you left. Let's just try to get some nuggets. Who's got something? Just wave your hand up. I'll call on you. I can see you all for the first time ever. So otherwise, I'm going to start calling on just people that look like they're paying attention. Justin, can I call on you? You got some stuff you could share? What are you doing to keep in touch with your sphere this time of the year?
So I felt like I kind of became, can you hear me?
Yes, you sound a little strange, but I can hear you.
Okay, so I felt like I became a bit disconnected through the whole quarantine. And even though I have been reaching out with texts and emails and voicemails and phone calls, I just wasn't, I haven't been able to stay on top of it. So I sent out some handwritten letters this past month to my clients saying, hey, I've been trying to connect, and on top of that, I'm finding that a lot of people are not, a lot of people are going out of business because of COVID, or they've lost their licenses or not renewed or changed businesses this year. So my vendor list is either super on demand or just rapidly changing. So I'm trying to stay on top of it. And one of the things I did this month was I sent out handwritten notes and saying, hey, I am looking for maybe somebody you've used during the quarantine to do a remodel or something in your home, or have you had a good or bad experience, because I'm updating my vendor list.
So just to clarify that I heard you properly, you are reaching out to your clients and you're saying, hey, I'm updating a list of preferred vendors to send to my people. Who have you used that you enjoy using? So you didn't even need to have any reason to reach out. You just said, hey, I need people. Can you send me people you like? Is that basically, and that was your.
Yep, exactly.
I love it. How simple is that? You guys, if you guys think that's pretty simple, can we get like a little clap in front of the camera so you guys can. So who else has something that they're doing? I love that. Emily, can I call on you? What are you doing? What are you focusing on? And what are you doing to keep in touch with your clients?
So what I'm focusing on is kind of starting to implement a little bit more video, but also sorry, my dog in the background. I always focus on my goals for the next year in November instead of December, so that I can really be gearing up and preparing what I need to in December. So, and then I have like an intention for the next year to come, and I pick that intention in November. So I've been focusing a lot on that. As far as touching base with people, I've been trying to really pick up the phone. And if they're interested, I had a couple people who were interested in actually meeting with me. So I did something where I would be outside and we would have coffee and sit on either side of a bench or something like that. So just kind of meeting them where they are.
Love it. All right, I'm gonna go around. Tony, can I go to you? You're a veteran agent. What are you doing? You're muted still, but I'll go.
There we go. Hey, I wasn't really prepared to be on camera here, but I appreciate it. What I've started doing here, because it's really going outside the box for me and stretching, is doing live videos. And it's funny because people don't really reach out too much online, but they're calling me and saying, hey, I've been watching those videos, you know, they're really good. And I've been learning, and I'm looking at selling my house, you know, getting it ready now for, you know, a couple months or whatever. And it's been interesting to see that, how they're not really going out so much on the Facebook platforms, you know, in the public realm, but they are reaching out to me behind the scenes. So it's been kind of fun, actually, to do. Surprisingly, I have a lot to learn though, so that I will be doing more, you know, coming up. But I've committed to doing them every Tuesday, and it's called Tony's Tuesday Tips. So
All
kind
right.
of corny.
I love it. I'm gonna need to ask a favor of the 30 something of you guys that are still left and that are still on. Some of you guys aren't actually on. You're just computers are still on. But I need a favor of you guys. I apologize for this. I never gave this feedback survey earlier. So if you guys just, I'm dropping it in the chat box right now. It's only gonna take you 2 minutes, I promise. You can literally do it while we're here. If you can just click that button and just fill it out really fast, what you thought about this session, what you changed about this session, and it basically asks you who you want to get introduced to. It's super simple. It's really easy. It just helps us make sure these events continue to innovate, because I'm going to guess this is not the last time we meet virtually in some capacity. So we want to be more effective. I appreciate you guys doing that and for sticking around. I'm probably going to email and text that out as well, because I probably should have done that. So you guys could just take 2 seconds, click that link. It's in the chat box. And then we'll probably get a couple more nuggets. And if anyone wants to share anything else, I'll keep the lines open. But Dominique, can I go call on you in a second? Are you still here? I would love to hear what you're doing to keep in touch with your sphere, because I know you do a ton of stuff.
I'm here if I can figure out how to get back to you.
All right, cool. I'll come back to you in 1 second. I just muted you, but when you're ready, I'll bring you up. And then Kathleen Pollock, if you happen to be able to, I'd love to hear what Richmond American is doing, but if you guys could fill that out really, really fast. In fact, hell, I'll give some free stuff away. I'll give a copy of this book, How to Lead in a World of Distraction, to somebody that actually filled this out. So somebody that fills this out, you've got a pretty good odds. There's probably going to be 12 of you that actually fill it out. You'll get a copy of this book, How to Lead in a World of Distraction. I promise you it's a good book. It's good enough that I bought 60 copies. So you can imagine. So anyway, this book right here, let us know, fill it out real fast. Anyways, all right, we're gonna go around the horn, hear your big takeaways. Who else wants to share? Oh, Dominique is back. Dominique, what are you doing the last 45 days to close out? And what do you do each year to keep in touch with your sphere?
I actually need to get better about it. The last 43 days, I'm trying to clean up my database more, which has been a mission because I have about 14,000 people in my database. So I'm really trying to hone in on that so I can be better about it next year. And I actually do a lot of personal visits and actually just like meet up with people, even if it's just for 15 minutes or an hour. I do a ton of that. That's just like actually reaching out. I still do postcards, believe it or not, recipe cards. I find them to be effective, even though it sounds like it's antiquated.
What do you put in them? What do you say? And when do you send them?
I send them every other month, and I do them usually before a holiday. And I'll do like a recipe for the holiday. And now I'm trying to start working on more of a healthy recipe instead of doing, because I notice more people are health conscious. So maybe sending what I did in the past may not be as effective. In the past, I would do like a holiday dessert or something. And on the back of it, I do different messages. It depends on what's going on. Like I may do something that has to do with, with a lot of people that, gearing up for the short sale market. Although I don't think the short sale market is going to be anything like what it was before, because most people have about 20% of equity in their houses. So I think we're going to have a little bit different of a marketing strategy than an actual short sale one, in helping people, but actually helping them sell their house and be able to get out of it and maybe keep some equity to be able to repurchase when they get back on their feet, when they get their work back. But like right now I'm doing one that's on a house that I sold in Moss Park. It was just sold just because a lot of the things hadn't been selling in that neighborhood. Or I may do the recipe card to, a farm, and I farm more people than I do areas. Like for instance, physicians or divorce attorneys or things of that nature, or veterans or first responders. So it depends on who it's going out to. I kind of change the message depending on what group I'm sending it to. If that makes sense. It's pretty easy to do because I just go on sensations and I'll gear up, maybe the same recipe card, but different to different people.
Love it. So where do you actually categorize them, and how do you categorize them?
I do it in a hold on, let me think what it is. My assistant does that thing. It's definitely in Google, and then we have it in, I forgot what the CRM is. I know that sounds terrible, but I forgot what it is that we use. But it's just a CRM. It's not anything like super special. And we just categorize them and that's what I'm working on now, is going back through recategorizing and making my database smaller because it's just way too many.
Are you just deleting people, basically? People that don't need to be there?
Or I'm deleting some, cleaning up some, and then I'm also like recategorizing like my VIPs and people I want to market to, people that I want to invite to events, people that are maybe a B client and an A client. So I'm redoing the structure of that so that it's easier for me, because to be honest with you, it's overwhelming. I know it sounds like I'm talking in circles, but it's overwhelming, and I'm trying to figure out how to get it more under control than I've had it. So
love it. All right, let's anyone else want to share what you're doing? We only got a couple of you guys left and on camera, but anyone that wants to share what you're doing for the rest of the year to set up for next year, to keep in touch with your clients, or you just want to share your biggest takeaway from today or anything else you want to talk about, now is the time. If anyone wants to share anything else, wants to tell me what you loved about today, wants to tell me my shirt's stupid, anything.
Hey, Aaron, this is Kathleen with Richmond American Homes. How's everybody doing?
Doing great. Can you share what's going on in your world?
Yeah, I love the gift idea. We're restricted. We work with a national home builder, so we're restricted and try to stay away from those big events. But like some of you said, we're utilizing those funds that we normally would spend on a big party on gifts. So I think the gifts go a long way. And if you put some thought into it, they can really, be special to either your internal employees or your clients. And then one other thing I was just going to shout out is, it's kind of silly, but Cracker Barrel has a great catering option. So for our internal employees next week, Wednesday, we're having Cracker Barrel Thanksgiving style, delivered out to all of our communities. So something fun, inexpensive, that you can, do, a great resource. But thank you all. Very good info, and looking forward to tuning in again in January.
Love it. And then last but not least, I'm just going to share this since we're talking about it. If you need help with your gifts, this is kind of what I specialize in and my team specializes in. So you can send me an email, Aaron, AARON, @orlandobranding.com. Our website hasn't been updated probably all year. So just to be honest, but if you need something, we can literally brand anything. We can get you anything. We can drop ship. We can figure this whole thing out. And we are very good at what we do when it comes to helping you with the actual strategy. Yes, we can just source stuff if you're just trying to buy things. But if you need help figuring out what to give, when to give, how to give, where to give, and all of that, we can help you if you're looking to do it. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for joining us all year. If there's anything else you want to share, I'm going to end the recording now. Thank you guys very much. It is done.